Listen, listen, listen. I fixed this before I started. Anyway, welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings, where I will ramble on for approximately 3 hours. There's actually a good amount of news, a, a lot of MOTU um, pictures and images of I they have like 18 different lines, whether it be their new core line, which is fits in with what looks like their origins line, and then you have your chronicles line, which is a little bit smaller than your met. Talk about a lot of stuff, but anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter. Maybe you got to spend a little bit of time with your family. Maybe you got to avoid your family. I don't know what your family life is. I'm not trying to get in your guys' heads and figure that much out. Just entertaining you for a little bit on Monday. So anyway, thank you for giving me a little bit of your time on Monday. We've gone from if anyone doesn't know, I'm in the Detroit area. Uh, we went from 70 degrees on Thursday and Friday into the 30s, and you wonder why people get sick here in the Midwest. Well, that's one of the biggest reasons right there. Not a half day because it was Good Friday, which I completely forgot. Basically, the only reason why it is Good Friday because, well, I was off. Had a half day. But I actually, got home and I went looking for some stuff. It looks like Ross is starting to get a few other things, so I ran out there just to see if I could find something. There was nothing. And then I headed over to the skate park and just to get a little bit of work in. You start to realize how bad you are at age 50, but I feel like I still don't embarrass myself, and I still have a good time rolling around. Um, if you don't know, I'm not a person who likes to cruise. I'm not a cruiser. I grew up doing tricks. That's what I enjoy doing. So uh, when I can no longer do tricks is when I will no longer ride a skateboard, and hopefully that is not for a long, long, long time. But other than that, came home this weekend, did some content. Olivia and I went out and tried to do a little bit of shopping for her. And of course, she wanted low rise jeans from Old Navy. And Old Navy has thousands of jeans and they're all high rise and not one low rise in the whole damn store. So that's a lot of fun. And then, Easter. So I did create a little bit of content. If you haven't been paying attention, I have been doing mostly Marvel Legends, uh, the Deadpool Wolverine wave. I did pick up the Wolverines. I haven't even opened them yet. I doubt I'm gonna doubt that I will review them. It's a lot of time, and I don't think anyone cares. They already know what they're gonna get from a Marvel Legends Wolverine. But I gotta say, man, the cowboy pool is pretty cool. Disappointed that you can't use the spinning revolver with Wild Bill. I was thinking this would be great, especially with the retro coming. Ooh, that is, if you don't know, maybe you missed the whole live stream Wednesday. You've been waiting to hear me talk about it. Uh, but he's cool. I wish the hat came off. If the cowboy hat came off, it'd be way better. Then you have the X23, which I did. That one was, yeah, Amazon pushed it back, hit it. I thought it was going to get canceled. I was able to get it off Target. I can see what Ed said, where it somewhat looks like my daughter. My daughter and her mother say no, it doesn't, but I definitely can see it. Especially when I made her put on some glasses that are very similar to it. But that's actually a really good figure. And then the Cassandra is oddly enough pretty cool. But I watched Deadpool yesterday. I just kind of got inspired, and if you saw the picture on Instagram that I dropped, I got inspired to do the Age of Apocalypse when he jumps on Wolverine, which I really like the picture. But once again, it tells me, like, if I don't do a picture with G.I. Joe, Skeletron, or Operation Monster Force, no one gives a shit about it, which I still don't understand. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good picture, and I was happy with it. But anyway, and then I think I might have had even on Monday, was it the the deluxe Deadpool, which comes with dog pool. Uh, his legs make him want to fall down. He gets small little feet, which I guess fits right, light feels feet. But I think the big Marvel Legends was that Colossus Kitty Pride. Now I had a lot of people complain about it. Um, some people saying that they screwed up the Colossus and why would they do this? And someone said, you go look at Astonishing Men, X-Men 23, and it is his exact uniform, and they are dead on. It is the exact uniform. But anyway, and then the one thing, and this is what I'll tell you, man, like whether a company I like or dislike, when they do something right, I'm gonna tell you. And Super 7, I think, did a good job with that Cobra Commander issue number 1. If you're into the O-ring, the Real American Hero stuff, I guess you can call it a Real American Hero. Technically, that's what they're doing. But the O-ring stuff, I thought that was a good job. I know I've complained saying, God, another Cobra Commander, but taking that look, giving you the comic, the feel of the comic, the look of it, whether or not it's Super 7 being cheap, I actually think that they were doing it on purpose to say, hey, this is kind of what the comic was like back then. But giving that figure, they did a good job with that figure, man. That is how the O-ring should be done. So again, credit where credit is due. Super 7, you did a good job. I think you nailed what you're supposed to do and what you've been saying that you're going to do. So if you haven't checked out those reviews, please do hit the like button, subscribe. All that stuff definitely helps out. I know the Marvel Legends, it's not everyone's cup of tea, is what they say, I guess, but it is something I really do enjoy. I don't see myself really breaking into the Marvel Legends review category. I'm assuming there's more than enough reviewers that talk about it, but when I get stuff that I enjoy or I get stuff early, I will definitely I'll go through them. But I'm not sure about the Wolverines, but I needed them. I needed MCU Wolverines, and I figured why not. And I used the hell out of that Target. Spend $50, get $10 off. Yeah, I used that like 4 times the last week. So anyway, let's say hi to the chat as it is kicking in here right now. Then quickly to start off, we have GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. We have David R. We have Sean Forrester, Krusty Old Crow, who I spoke with on the phone today. Evo Dookie says, grew up in Connecticut and don't give 2 shits about UConn versus Michigan. I'm here for a punk. I am not a big college basketball fan. I hope Michigan wins, but you won't have the same issue as if Michigan football was playing for the national championship. Matter of fact, if Michigan ever plays for the national championship again in college football, on Monday, I'm not doing a show. I learned my lesson in 23. I won't be doing that. Snow Wolf is here. We have Beardy McBearders and hey, Chad. Hey, Punk. Get to ranting. We got one moderator, Matthew Matson, with his. We have Clint Jorgensen saying, I will post the scores at the 5s and the 2 minutes warning. I actually have it in the background if I need to. We have Steve Martin saying, good evening, people. Steve Martin has sent me a cease and desist, but he's got a lawsuit against me or something. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Joe Fan 84 has jumped in here. Let's see here. Yes, the 3-hour tour from Matthew. We'll see. I got a lot of stuff to get through. Action Figs, my other moderator, Ed, saying evening, everyone. We have U.S. Combat Dojo, GI Jetman saying what up, Punk and chat. GI Jetman was the first person, other than my moderators, obviously, to get the Punk with Toy crates and post some pictures of it. So if you're on my Instagram, and we'll actually be talking about that in a little bit, You can see the pictures. I reshared it. Like I said, anyone that gets them and tags me in it, I will share them out for sure. We have MTC Collects here. We have Moondoggy saying the weather is crazy in the Midwest. I don't know if it's crazy or if it's just something that we've gotten to understand. I know I had Bill Murphy on, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. He grew up in the Midwest somewhere. He didn't really say where, and we kind of went back and forth about it. Yeah, it can be rough if you're not used to it. If you came over from Arizona, California, someplace that doesn't have the same types of storms and the big swings, you might not be able to handle it for sure. Action Fake saying we had the 70-degree Friday and Saturday snow on. So it was hailing today. I mean, it was coming down when I got home. I was drenched because I had to go get the garbage cans and the recycling, and then I had packages to ship out for eBay, and I just happened to have them. And I asked the mail lady if she could take them. So, and she had to bring me in something. 3-star draw is here. We have Skunkworks Studios, and then Allison Troy saying greetings. Woo! All right. We're almost through, everyone, I think. Ultra Match is, I tell you, Ultra Match, man, sometimes you leave comments on some of the reviews, and I don't know if you're being funny or if you don't like me. I'm assuming that's not it, but sometimes I wonder. Lego Star Wars Kid saying, I really dislike the 80s high-rise pants. They make women look like grandmas. Well, according to my daughter, she said, look around, it's all older people here at Old Navy. And I went, there's no old people here. She said, I said older, not old. I'm with you. I've never understood the high rise. If you have a belly, I think it shows off the belly even more. Yeah, I'm with you. But my daughter was very adamant about no high rise, no high rise. Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. And then we have Bobby Wold saying, I end up using Deadpool's hand on Wild Bill to use that effect. The problem is you have to shave it down. Did you not? Because when I tried plugging it in, it was not going to fit because that's what I thought you could possibly do. Again, you could use some sticky tack. I'm waiting for that sponsorship at any time now. But yes, I tried that, but the peg was not going to work properly. Maybe if you had Spec could use the pegging. He understands that very well. Hi, it's me has joined us. Jad Jetman says, I like the X-23. X-23 she's a really good figure, and I mean it, like you could use her in G.I. Joe, you could use her with proper Marvel Legends, you could use her in all different types of stuff. She is, again, it is a good figure. I like the way everything is, in all honesty, set up. Everything she comes with, the backpack is cool because it can be used with other things. The Juggernaut helmet is actually pretty cool, although they should have made it fit on Cassandra a little bit better since she's the whole reason for it. Viper Scout has joined us. Oh, look, here is toy pegging. Toy pegging. Toy optics. Toy pegging, I guess, also works for Mr. Spec here. So are you going to talk about bodying people? I never said that. Again, I never said that. That was somebody else in our chat. Todd C has joined us. We have Random Diorama, also known as Radnom, or the guy who made these pretty cool Punk with Toys crates, which once again I will be talking about pretty soon. Hey, if I don't promote them, who's gonna promote my own stuff, right? Oh, other than Ed and Matthew. Cooking with Eric is here. Stephen K. And let's see. I think that's about it. Oh no, we got Sci-Fi George, who I know he has to endure the Michigan going from 70 to 30, and then it'll be back up to 60. I don't know, soon. I don't not soon enough, I will say that. And here we have Irish Johnny B. Hey dude, greetings from Ireland. Great. Dude, I love having guys from across the pond. I know I got a lot of Australian friends. I got some New Zealand friends. and a bunch of different guys. So great to see people from other parts of the world. And then we have Alex Martinez. Anyway, all right. I talked about a lot of stuff already. I want to say thank you to Bill Murphy from Fresh Monkey Fiction / Big Bad Workshop for doing Thursday with a friend. He had a limited amount of time, so we couldn't go 3 hours. If you go back and you watch it, we didn't touch as much on his family life and his childhood like we normally do. He did give me, 3 hours and I think 3 hours and 40 minutes, uh, which is great. Again, if I know normally we'll go 3 hours or so. If someone says, "Hey, can we keep it to this amount of time?" Uh, I want to do my best because they are, they're gracious enough to give me some of their time. But I gotta say, like, uh, that was I was really happy with that how that went. And a lot of people reached out and they complimented me on it. We got a lot of good information, and you go back to Ben Conway when I had him on it, and now Bill, very open and honest about the things that are going on. He did talk about um, certain things like they do own the licensing to the tick and um, cops and crooks and stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff that they're pulling from is what's it called, open domain, so anyone can do whatever they want. But he talked about a lot of the things. People asked about, the face painting, which I think a lot of us aren't thrilled with, right? I mean, I'd much rather see what what Hasbro does with theirs and a lot of other companies. But like he said, hey, for us to constantly change the face color, the tone, it's easier for us to paint just because of the run of stuff. And when you look at actually printing the stuff in that color, it financially doesn't make any sense. And he even said, like, hey, some of these you may not realize there's like 300 pieces that all together. But he was very honest. I think he answered the majority of the questions that people asked about. Um, and it's just nice to have, again, Thursday with a friend has always been about bringing on people that have supported me, not the next big YouTuber, not the next big toy designer, the toy maker, because these are things that are going to boost my numbers or give me more credit and make more people watch it. I wanted to bring on people that have supported me. And I got to say, having a few of the guys that have supported me, that are in the toy making, it is a different approach because I know people are tuning in and they want to ask those questions. And I feel like Bill was very open, and I'd really only spoken to him. I'd spoken to him via email more than a few times due to some other stuff. And I spoke to him a little bit at Joe Fest. But getting that out of him and the way he answers questions and just being very honest, a speed talker, like, makes me seem very slow, but makes it easy for me. You ask a question and you're able to let him, talk about stuff. But he had some really good, very honest answers. You didn't get any BS. I didn't feel, and I think that's what most people want. He's very honest about, like, hey, I'm not a military guy, so he said it makes me feel really good for people to say that might be the best military figure that anyone's actually messed with. And that comes from a lot of the military guys, not just yahoos like me who have never served a day in their life. So that's that made me happy. So anyway, he was a wonderful conversation. So please go check it out if you haven't yet. We have Billy Butch jumping in here, saying evening all. And let's see. Evil Dookie says, got to help the wife. I gotta help the wife. I'll catch the replay. Have a great night, everyone. Well, what did they say? Happy wife, happy life. I wouldn't know. I just have me and, well, I guess my kids to deal with too. So I do have those people I have to deal with too. And Steve Cham jumping in saying, "Good evening, punks." I was like, "Good evening." This week I have the one, the only Airborne Customs. Uh, I met Darren at Joe Fest. I had no idea who he was until we started talking. Uh, if you're not following Airborne Customs on Instagram, please go do it. Uh, if you want to figure out a new GI Joe figure, a new classified figure, and what parts are broken down to make that figure, and what's new, what's old, he is the one to follow. He breaks it down sometimes by color and different things like that. So a wonderful guy. Um, Served in the military, so he has a lot of knowledge. A lot of you will appreciate what he has to say when he says they messed this up. They should have done this. Like, he's very knowledgeable um, with that. Like, certain things he agrees with, some things he doesn't. Other things he'll be like, "Hey, I get it. Like, it's a toy, so there are only so many things that you can do." So, but I will have him on. I am excited for that. Him and I'd say we chat back and forth more than a few times a week, and he had to work it into a schedule, and I appreciate that. Like I said, anyone that can give me some other time that I'm looking to have a conversation with, I definitely do appreciate it. So, and then after that, I have Mark to Toys, uh, who, I gotta say, when someone who is doing 3D designs, working for companies, when they approach you at Joe Fest in 24 and say hi to you and say, "Hey, I really appreciate what you do," uh, you really you take a step back because you're like, you really know who I am. He's like, "I really enjoy what you do," and that means a lot. It means a lot when anyone comes up to me. I've said that numerous times, but it is something a little different when someone who is uh, in the industry knows who you are and not just says, uh, "Yeah, yeah, people who throw our toys." I didn't throw the toy. I did not throw the Savage Crucible. I tossed it onto the desk. Um, but I will have him on, and then after that, I'm having a whole week off. I'm going to New York for training. I probably will be on the Circle of Jerks just because I don't have to do anything other than get home from my training, turn my laptop on, and let Zen and anyone else do all the work. So that's probably the only show you'll see me on that week. And then when I get back, there won't be another Thursday with a friend because I will be on Toy Domination that Thursday. And then going into May, we start the drive to Joe Fest. And for those next 2 months, all the Thursday with the friends will be with multiple people, specific groups of people that are going to Joe Fest. Some will be their first time, some have already been there. But I want to do something a little bit different leading into Joe Fest. And we'll definitely be kicking it off with, Ed. Well, my moderator, Ed, will also be on. Did you hear me this time, Ed? Even though I specifically said to you, Ed and Ed will both be on to kick it off in May. So I'm looking forward. I'm so looking forward to Joe Fest. I am so not only Joe Fest. I'm going right down to Orlando for Disney and Universal. Again, it's 5 days with some of you yahoos. I am, honest to God, I am super excited. Like, I can't express it. Like, the show is so much fun, and it's more than just a show. It is 5 days of hanging out with friends that you've met through this crazy fucking screen that we told our kids those aren't real friends, and then we find out they are. So if you have a chance to go, and even if you don't know anyone, just go. You won't regret it. This guy right here, right? GI Bro. I believe you said the first time in 24 when you went, you didn't really know anyone. I think you were watching me. I think there's a few other people, and you flew from California out there. And again, just talk to people, right? Um, don't try and idolize people. Just talk to people. Everyone's there for the same reason that they enjoy this hobby, whether it be customizing GI Joe, the new GI Joe. Some people are there for the Savage Crucibles or AWOC or anything like that. Um, you know, you, you have a mixture, but everyone is there because they're collectors. No one's there to cause problems, fight, or anything like that. Oh, but I promise you will have a good time if you go. All right, let me see here. And GI Bro says I got the hotel this time. I'm glad because I kept telling you, and even you said you're like, yeah, I really didn't like walking back at night. Ed says too many Eds. I used to be the only one, and now there's too many. Well, there's Ed from Joe Faz, you Ed. I don't know who else there is. I'm sure there's other ones. I mean, there is Ted, but U.S. Combat Dojo says, I can't wait for Joe Fest. This will be my first time, and I promise you'll have a good time. And again, you don't have to know anyone. You really don't. First off, you probably know a lot of people that do YouTube, but there's just so many. I mean, again, there's so many people, and they're all there for the exact same thing. So, and yeah, he said I didn't know anyone. So, and who is this guy? What? Trust a Screamer. Ed, Ted, and Eddie. Man, I have not seen Trust a Screamer in a long time. Great to have you here. It's nice that you're here. What can I say? I know we roll in two different groups, but it's nice to see that you come in here because you know that I'm the fun one. Uh, oh yes, Viper Scout. That's right. um, yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yes, Ted's name is Ed. That is right. Ted's name is actually Ed. That's right. I totally forgot about that. And Moondoggy says, "Listen, I wish I could go. Single dad life ain't easy. If you could take them, do it. But I understand. I honestly, we may rag on people and say, you know what, find a way to make it happen. Um, I understand. I went a long time not doing any type of vacations, and when you have kids, and especially you're a single dad, you have to make those decisions. And I'm definitely, um, I definitely understand. Tony says I can't go. I lost my job, and I had a survey to do. Was it an eye survey? Callister says that Dragon Man really jumps out from the shelf behind you. Yeah, I have him. I didn't know where to put him. I did a picture with him, and he was sitting actually where the boom is, so I had to move him. And I'm like, he kind of works there. Here. Now he doesn't even have that in his way. Thank you, though. That's a good figure, dude. I don't. It's a good figure, man. It's fun. You can only do so much with it. He is big and bulky, but he stands, and that's what really matters. Oh, look, Ed says that's easy, Tony. Just do a GoFundMe. You could go live and beg for super chats too. There is always that. Remember, if you can't find a way to fund a vacation, you can always beg for super chats or do a whole GoFundMe. Right? Like that's always it's not a fucking option. Don't do it. All right. I'm just saying. It's not a fucking option. All right. If you can't afford to go on vacation, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't beg and plead for one. Whew. All right. Quickly, April Fools. I hope we on the Circle of Jerks, and I guess I shouldn't be apologizing. Actually, I'm not apologizing. Maybe I shouldn't speak for all of the jerkles, but I hope you guys didn't get mad about the April Fool's joke. I told Baldy on the way home from work, I said, you know what? We should move the start time up to 8 o'clock and watch the people roll in. And he was like, hey, you know what? If you guys jump in and make comments, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it, right? And I thought it was a blast. And it seemed like about 20 minutes into it, people got the joke. They were having fun with it, which is what really matters. And I felt like if there's any show that is, if there's any show that people will think that it's funny, it was going to be that one. And I know I had a great time. Tony had a great time with it. Baldy and Spec. Is Terry still in Circle of Jerks? Just messing with you. Trust the Screamer says GoFundMe worked better. GoFundMe worked better than my OnlyFans. Well, hey, you know what? You do have to have your. I guess you have to make your decisions on what you can do to make it work. Grizzlehorn says, sad news, creator of Double Dragon and Renegade died. Are you talking about Renegade, the TV show? Or Double Dragon was a game, but it was also, I think they made it a movie too. The Renegade wasn't the really bad Lorenzo Lamas TV show? That was awesome. Yeah. Anyway, and Clinton Jorgensen says, too big Punk, the Maize and Blue are too big today. I have no idea what's going on. 25-29, it says right now. Like I said, I'm not a huge basketball fan. I hope they win. I just did tilt like Donald Trump. I hope they win. No, this is not a time to talk politics. All right, please. Just I tilted my head and said, "Oh my god, I look like Donald Trump." Don't fucking do it. I'll ban every fucking one of you. I won't ban everyone. Payne's toy samples. I was just thinking about you the other day. Like, what the hell? Because it got brought up because Olivia said that when we were on vacation, last time we went to Disney, when we were on vacation, she was in the room when you went live on Monday and I jumped in with you guys. And they heard me swearing and they thought I was yelling at her about it. And she was like, he doesn't yell at me. And then, well, hold on. Blue Barnella. Now I might be wrong, but
wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
Circle of Jerks. That's actually with a Z, but tomorrow I want to see a Licky Bunny. Toy Optics, are you here? Are you hearing this? Are you like, he's usually up on this stuff. But I have no idea. Like, it is out of my control. That is a spec production. But I'm kind of with you. I don't know. I kind of creeped out thinking about Baldy and a bunny outfit suit doing Licky, but I think it also works. M. Hatfield saying, hey there, everyone. Woo! All right. And we have Commander Wolf saying, what's up, y'all? Blue Barnhouse says, nope, you got it right, Larry. Thank you very much. Great to have someone new in here. And if you guys haven't yet, please hit that like button. It really does help out, believe it or not. All right. Let's see here. I haven't seen Spec. So, Tony, are you here? I need someone to message Spec and say, hey, we need a Licky Bunny. Payne says, been busy finishing the fiction book, so time has been limited lately. I definitely I definitely get it. Oh, look at this Blue Barnella repping from Bay City. So cool. There's been a couple of people that have found me from Michigan through the Circle of Jerks, which is kind of funny. Actually, one guy who actually goes to Modern, I don't think he really skateboards anymore. But I know he goes up there for when they do like the motorcycles and everything because they put on events like that, which is crazy. It's crazy to think of. So, anyway, Cressio Crow says you don't want to get political, but clearly all your fingers are protesting in that scene behind you. Huh? Well, all your figures are protest. I said fingers. Ooh, been a long Monday. All right. Let me see here. And then yeah, I know Toy Optics was here. That's why I said it. Allison Troy says, I would assume you meet at least 2 people in any circle jerk. Yes. Yes. It's important. It's important. All right. This week we will have a Punk's Pit because I won't have time to do it any other time because I will be leaving for New York on the following Saturday. So we will do a Punk's Pit for sure. Yes, do a Punk's Pit for sure. Anyway, before we get into some of the other stuff, I got to talk about a few other things. And one, it finally came. This has been at least 3 years. Now I have had a chance to open them up. And that is, look at that, Hexa Stack. It is a real thing. So I just received it today. I have not had a chance to go down and look. I do believe there is a code for APWT that I think you get 10% off if you go to order one at Hexa Stack. And I'm wrong, then yeah, I'm wrong. I don't know what to say. He sent me a bunch of stuff. I quickly read it, but it showed up today. And obviously, I'm busy and other people are busy. But the Hexa Stacks did finally show up. A nice box. I will do a review on them, showing them all off and how they work and how they can actually work. And I'll be 100% honest. I'm not a stand guy, and most people know that. But the idea of doing different layers so you can see the figures behind it does intrigue me, and that's how I have a lot of my figures right now on some of the shelves and some of the Marvel Legends. And this is going to be something that really does work. And when I get into the stands and everything, you'll see that he did away with the peg and made it more convenient to work. And look at this. Matthew's saying, what? They exist? They do. I wasn't sure I believed them, but they did come in today. So guess what? There they are. Then Shark Guy says, hi, Lawrence. I have a question. Are you based as fuck? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Jed Jetman says, Punk, this is off topic, but have you ever watched Bosch on Prime? I've been binging it. It's really good. I did. I watched Bosch after it had, not the whole thing, after I think the first 2 seasons had aired. I really did like it. I really enjoyed it. Also, Bosch was in 90210, and it took me forever to fucking figure out who the hell he was. Was it 90210 or Angel? No, it was 90210. And it took me forever to figure out because he was so young at the time. He looks so different. I have not finished Bosch Legacy, which is just Bosch and his daughter, who's in it anyway. And I know they did end it. No, I actually enjoyed it. So That is a good show. That is a really good show. So enjoy it. But yeah, binge it, and yeah, you'll get through it pretty quickly. So let me see. Hi, it's me says, I think they only ship to big deals like Lawrence. I can't speak for that, but they are real. And yeah, and well, here's the whole thing. So I'm not a stand guy either. You can get away with not without having them as a stand, where they're just levels, which that I do like. But again, you don't need stands, people. Especially with 6-inch figures. We have Dead Man Juan saying, "What up, punk?" Go back and watch his Thursday with a Friend. It was a really good one. Another person that I had only spoken to a little bit and really uh, got to know about him and who he is. So, Billy Boys Toys jumping in as a hello everyone in chat. Hi, punk. I received the stickers you sent. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, speaking of that, Matthew, did you get the package that I shipped out? Because I know the other guys, well, at least 2 other people got their stuff that I shipped out. So I don't know if you got your stuff or not. So please let me know. Anyway, okay, so there's that. And then the other thing, again, if I don't plug my own stuff, who the hell is going to plug it for me? And this is the game changer, what you have been waiting for since Radnam dropped the hella dope, which you can see in the back there, hella dope crates, the new Punk with Toys crates. You have been waiting for. You guys, I don't know if you've asked, these are game changers. Not only can you fit weapons in them, you can order them with different slides. So you can hold different documents if you are interested. Here is a link to it. Radnam creates them by hand. He also has other things along in his Etsy store. He makes wonderful product. You can watch him every Friday night. You can watch him create different things. It is a very chill. It is a very chill stream, unlike what you normally get from me or the Circle of Jerks or anything I'm pretty much involved with. But these are a lot of fun. We have talked about these. GI Jetman, I know he just got his. Again, we talked about them. These are game changers. These are not 3D printed. These are actual wood. These are engraved on, all handcrafted, all handmade. We have these different crates in here, so you can take them out, put documents in it. If you have files, these come out. You have a long one here. You can put some rifles in it, or you can just slide the whole thing out and have a whole crate all by itself. They make your pictures look better by not even doing anything. And why, you might ask? Well, because they say a punk with toys. And remember, not only will your friends be envious of you and your APW crates, there will be other people that are mad that someone like me has other people with my logo in their background. So you can also get this one here that you can hold rifles in it. This is the one that I think a lot of people like, but from my understanding, it's pretty much been a one of each for the people that are purchasing them. You're gonna love them. You're gonna have fun with them. You liked the Hella Dope Toys ones. These ones are even better because they say a punk with toys, and it also says I'm kind of a big deal. You can't really see it on this because my camera is not kind of a big deal. So go get them. There is a link to it right there. Again, we spend so much money on stuff, and if you're doing pictures, you're doing dioramas, you will find out that they really do enhance. And what I mean by that is the real wood, it's something pretty special. And he's had numerous people ask if they can get just blank ones. The answer is no. The answer is absolutely no. Maybe eventually. Maybe eventually it will. But as of now, the answer was nope. And quickly, we have a real American hero here. I can't see what you put on here. So I'm trying to figure out Okay. It was just a couple little icons. But I do have to say, I don't believe that I have seen our favorite thing here.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
All right. So there is that. Our little crates. And again, like I said, if I don't plug my own stuff, who the hell is going to plug it for me, right? Other than Matthew and Ed. But I also received something else. And I talked about this a little bit earlier. And Steve Martin has said that he is sending me a lawsuit. I can't really say a cease and desist, but he purchased a Circle of Jerks merchandise from my shop store, and he said this has created itchiness in his nether regions. He has a rash breaking out. He said he is suing, and I have let him know that you can't sue because this is exactly what we expected when we soaked these shirts in a specific chemical. So you get this itchiness, the burning sensation that you will feel for at least 24 hours. But if you are interested, for sure, please go check out the merchandise store. You'll see all kinds of different shirts, whether it be a Punk with Toys, the Circle of Jerks, and some other ones. Now, I do have to say, of all the things, and he says, don't forget my shaved nipples. He sent me a lawsuit. I have sent back a countersuit over his poor razor phone taking this light colored photo that doesn't get to show off exactly how awesome these shirts look. So you will have a countersuit coming your way. Anyway, it was great to see this. I love this. I know Steve doesn't really show his face, and I meant to ask you, but then I was pinched for time, and I said, I don't care. I could have crapped your head out, but I said, you know what? He wants to show people his nipples. Or know that his nipples are shaved also. For quickly, a real American says, first time in the chat, been on YouTube years, never do live streams, but now I've got all this extra time on my hands. Well, it's great to have you here. We talk more than just G.I. Joe, but you will definitely get a lot of G.I. Joe, no doubt about it. Deadman says, I'll plug your merch, send me a video. I can play it on Mercs Live. I gotta do that. Thank you. I will let me see what I can put together because I'm so bad about that stuff. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And here's Toy Optics saying, are we getting any kind of profit sharing on those shirts? Yes, if you create your own store and you sell them, then you get some. I don't know how to split the like $5 that I made between the five of us. That's $1 each. So and somebody asked, I don't know if you were here, Spec, somebody wants a Licky Bunny for Circle of Jerks tomorrow. So that is on you if you want to do a Licky Baldy. A Licky Bunny. Which I got really amused by. Yes, $1 is one. The difference is I never told you that anything that I get, I'm going to split equally with who's ever on screen, and only to renege that because I don't want to. So just remember that I never gave and then said nope, I'm taking away. But hey, you know what? We can figure something. And Tony says, I want my $2. Toy Optic says, I heard, not sure if I take requests. I would normally agree that I wouldn't take requests, but Licky Bunny just sounds so perfect to go. I mean, Baldy in a bunny costume, kind of that looks like Ralphie from A Christmas Story. I think it just kind of works. um, True Star Screamer says, Licky Baldy, what kind of fetish shows have you not watched? The Circle of Jerks over on Baldy Locks? Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know if you watched it or not. Right now, make sure you go over to Baldy Locks Reviews. That's Locks with a Z. Make sure you go over there, subscribe to his channel, and make sure you tune in tomorrow 6:30ish, and you will find out exactly what we are talking about. But Punk, I lost my job, and you worked your ass off today. You worked your butt off. Remember that. All right. Anyway, there's that. Whew. So anyway, if you guys are interested, please go ahead. And then the other thing, we are closing in on 2,000 followers on Instagram. I'm just chilling for myself today. I'm just chilling along. If you haven't yet, please. I really do enjoy all the photography that I've been doing. It's not the greatest, but it's fun. I was very proud of my Wolverine today, but again, it wasn't G.I. Joe, Operation Monster Force, or Skeletron, so no one gave a shit. But it was good. So anyway, I don't know what else I can say, but it is time to get into a little bit of toy news. But I need a quick little break, and I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I know Darren came out with part 2. That's Darren. I said Darren. 3-Star Draw came out with his part 2 of his series with Tuco Viper. So please, I'm going to ask you guys to head over and watch it. But before we do that, we're going to look at something that he sent me for the Punkathon. If I can find it, I can't find. I don't know why I can't find it. Oh, here's one of them.
And now back to Cobra News Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have received word that our field correspondent, Scrap Iron, is on scene at Mars Industries, and he has interviewed a few eyewitnesses and forwarded those statements over to us as he tries to get closer for a better vantage point on the fire. So let's take a listen to these eyewitness statements and see if we can discover what has happened here tonight.
All right, so I'm out here just ripping this mini ramp that's made by Mars Industries. Don't ask, I don't understand why they sponsored it. But anyway, I hear this huge explosion, and I hear all these people yelling and screaming that this thing's on fire, and they tell me to call 911, so I call 911. We got the ESU police here, and we got the firefighters, and wait a minute, don't you work for Mars Industry and the Iron Grenadiers too?
Oh yeah, that's a wicked fire, eh? Good bonfire for burning the moose on. Kind of reminds me, it reminds me of the one that we did at Justin Bieber every year at Stratford Festival. Just as much smoke, big flame. We do that to keep Sasquatch away. What'd you do yours for, eh?
Yeah, how you doing? I was walking down the street, hanging out, minding my own business. About to sit down on the park bench here and just enjoy my meal here. I got a nice little delicious lunch made by my wife, my lovely wife. She's a great cook. Sometimes not the best, but listen. We all suffice, right? And I'm sitting here on the bench about to open up my lunch box after a long day of working with construction workers. If you haven't noticed, I got this hard hat on, right? And I'm sitting here chilling, and next thing you know, I smell burning. And I go, what is that? And then the explosion, the loud, boom! I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? What's going on here? You sound like Aaron Judge cracked a home run. I'm freaking out. I look up, and Mars Industries is on fire. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? The building just blew up. It's on fire now. And no one can have any answers. Nobody has any answers. Next thing you know, the fire shows up, the cops show up, nobody knows what's going on, but damn things for sure, that building blew up. Now listen, I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you this, the owner of that building, he wears a metal helmet. Who's wearing a metal helmet? Just to do business. Something don't smell right, you understand what I'm saying? That building, that was an inside job. You can quote me on that. Thank you for having me on the news. I've never been on the news before. This is fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And before we go, I want to shout out some people. My man Shane, my man Woody, my man Mike. I appreciate you all. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you. I'm on the freaking news right now. This is fantastic.
Well, that was certainly something. So let's see if we can check back in with Scrap Iron and see if he's been able to locate Destro or the Baroness, find out the cause of this fire. Over to you, Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron. Scrap, are you there? Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, and oh my God. Oh, I'm going to have to go over there now.
All right, and let's see here. Let's see. Dominic Johnson jumping here saying, "Hey, Punk, great video review of the Super 7 Coco. Actually makes me want to buy." That's how good my reviews are, that I can make someone want to buy something by Super 7. And I do want to mention this. Someone made a comment on that video about they disagree with the wrist articulation. They want it to be as close to the a real American hero, the ARH that we had in the 80s. Here's my problem with that. And I responded back and I said, this is where you're wrong. And I don't like to say that people are wrong. Actually, I love to tell people that they're wrong, but I don't like to be a dick about it. That's not true either. I don't like to take away people's opinions. But here's where people are wrong. If you say I want it to be as close to the original aesthetic, well, then are you mad that Hasbro went from straight arm to swivel arm? Are you mad that they made neck articulation where they could look down? The wrist swivel would have been the wrist swivel would have been the evolution eventually on the Real American Hero. But for people to say that, and this is what my biggest gripe, they've already failed people because they paint the face rather than printing the face color in that plastic. And that's what the Real American Hero figures look like. That was a huge thing. The wrist swivel keep the exact same aesthetics. So I don't understand why people get mad about that. But yes, that is where I believe that is flawed logic, because first off, wrist swivel, it changes the way you compose the figures, and it doesn't change the way the figure actually looks. Unlike a lot of the crappy proportions that Super 7 is using. So that's where I'm sorry, like, you're wrong. But with that said, it is a really good figure, and I like that they did something like that. Look at this. Roddy Trick Shop saying, "Hey, ya funky punk." Hey, Moondoggy, I happen to like the Super 7. You can. And that's, listen, nothing against it, right? But their quality is not nearly, the quality and the aesthetics are not as good as what they should be. All right. They have the right idea by doing different characters, or characters in different uniforms, outfits that we never had. But it's their execution that unfortunately should be better. When smaller companies, Delta 17, Operation Recall, Skeletron, like when they're doing better O-rings than the bigger companies, that's where the problem is. And that's my biggest gripe. And I think that's where the majority of us have a gripe in it. So anyway, Ed says, yeah, being a dick while telling them that they're wrong is Matthew's job. Oh yes. Anyway, Mr. Wonderful jumping in, just catching up and behind right now, back at like 20 minutes behind. That is right. Living in the past, jump to the future. It is pretty awesome. And then we have Cooter's Garage saying, "Yo, Punk," and again, Moondog. Again, I have a bunch of the Super 7 Reaction Plus figures. I like the idea of what they do. I wish they did it better. And this is really an issue towards Super 7 in general, whether it be their Ultimates and not just G.I. Joe, right? They're a bigger company. We've told them what we want, and we know that it's a fail because I go on BBTS, and what do we see? We see that these things are clearance at $12 these, these ultimate figures. So anyway, and look at AO Frankie jumping in here saying, "What's up, Punk? How you doing? How was your weekend?" I had a good weekend. I hope you had a good weekend too. Did the family thing and the kid thing, and I rode my skateboard a little bit because it was 70 on Friday, and then it was in the 30s. So anyway, onto a little talk, and we have some Masters of the Universe to talk about. And I'm not joking when I say that they have just dumped so much stuff. And look at this, perfect timing for Thanos Copter to show up as I pull up Masters of the Universe. And there is a Fisto in this. So quickly, here we have the Masters of the Universe. Okay, so this is the Mattel Masters of the Universe Core Mechanic 5.5-inch figure. So these fit the same scale. All right, these fit the same scale as Origins, but they're cheaper. And this goes right back to my whole original thought of the only way they bring down the cost is yes.
Is a washer set to everything?
What do you mean?
Wash these two things.
You have to change it every time now. Every time you start it. Olivia's here. If anyone is wondering, Olivia came in because yes, you have to change it to what you want to do. You want to say hi to everyone? I was about to say all of a sudden she's shy, but we know she's not. Look, there she is. Say hi.
Hi.
Now go wash your clothes. Okay, she's bitching about her brother. I'm assuming.
No, do not put that on the internet.
Oh, he doesn't watch.
You never know. I can always get back to that. Any hellos?
No one said hello because they were like, "Get the hell out of here."
Screw you all.
All right. So anyway, this is the core, and I'll go with once again, like the only way that these companies will lower their prices is if they kill the line and then start something new. And I feel like that's what they're doing with the core, because the Skeletor is $10. And here we have 3-star member for 23 months. And where the hell is that? She walked away, so you don't get it live.
Fucking Phil Collins.
But maybe we'll do it later. And I will tell everyone, Ed said hello. Krusty said hello. 3-star said, damn, I was too late. Hey, old Frankie is saying hello to Olivia. Thank you, guys. She loves it. All right. To maybe the people who aren't here all the time, she acted shy. She's not shy, and I think everyone knows that. John Battle jumping in here. Stop snitching on her punk. Oh, and Ed says, "Oh, hi Ken, hi Ken." We have gotten out of saying hi to Ken. We need to say it. Anyway, here's this Mechanic. This is from the movies. You can definitely see that they're going down with a different aesthetic because it's from the movie. Same color scheme. I gotta say, the one thing that I definitely do miss with the Origins figures is the actual play function of turning the head and making it, making it extend rather than popping on an extension here. But that's what they're doing now. So it looks like we can probably extend this up at least twice, just like that. I just think that looks kind of quirky. But the one thing that I like is that if these are like Skeletor for $10, this is what you need to bring kids in. And I have no reason not to think that all of them are going to be $10, because I think they said the DC figures, the core DC figures are going to be like $12, right? So there's no reason not to think that that's how it's going to be. But looking at this figure, we can definitely see that it has the aesthetics of the original Mechanic that I really like Mechanic. I hated that you had to turn him, so he was like turned to a side as a kid, but I loved the way the neck moved. It was a lot of fun. So Stu for lunch jumping in and saying happy Monday to all the fine folks here and there and everywhere. Hi Ken, and that is a fun mechanic. And then we have Graf jumping in and saying, no, don't bring kids in. Stay away from my toys, kids. Well, I think you're going to get a lot of them. But anyway, if you are looking for this, it's there. All right. And then we have this Masters Universe 2026 Movie Core Figure 4-pack available on Amazon for $35. Now, once again, this is one of those things where I complain about G.I. Joe, right? If you're giving me a 2-pack, and this is a 4-pack, if you're giving me a 2-pack, it shouldn't be more than 2 figures. It should be less because there's less packaging. It's why we go to Costco or Sam's Club, or why we buy in bulk. Well, these are core figures that are $10. They're giving them a few less. I mean, they're giving them, less accessories. But rather than this be $40, they said, hey, this is $35. And they seem to have the exact same articulation as Origins. So we all know how that works. But the Havoc staff, I have no idea what the this Ram guy is. So any MOTU guys here? Who's the Red Ram dude? A Moondoggy says, gotta go to bed, fellas. Catch you on the next one. Great show, Punk. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. And have a wonderful night. Catch it on the replay if you're bored and have nothing else to do. Venom Spawn jumping in here saying, what's good, fellow collectors? Glad I could finally catch the live stream. Well, glad to have you here. I swear you've been here before, but if you haven't, we'll give you the quick, easy.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
John Battle says, I did pick up the Scare Glow. I did pick up the new Scare Glow and hit it with the black light. It really brings out the glow. Dude, this figure is a really good figure. All right. I am really happy with it. I wish there was more glow in the dark to him, but his head does light up really nicely, and the head doesn't look like it is glow in the dark, which is really good. 3 Star says $35 for 4 figures. We're getting bent over. Fuck it. I'm a MOTU collector now. Again, but you would complain that you don't have the good articulation with this. I know you, Darren. I know you well enough. Here, Olivia. Hold on, we'll call her in. She'll be so excited to know. Everyone said hi to her. Anyway, a bunch of people said hi to you. And 3 Star wanted a live fucking Phil Collins.
Fucking Phil Collins.
Look at that, 3 Star.
Guys, I have the SAT in 2 days.
She has the SAT in 2 days.
And then the win.
And
then state testing.
So she has all that to do.
And if I don't do one, I'm going to have to redo 11th grade.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
No, I swear it does.
No, I don't think so.
I swear I cannot. I have to redo it if I don't do one of them.
No, it doesn't work like that.
I swear it does. Look it up.
No, it doesn't.
I swear it does.
What's your grade point average?
3.997.
She has a 3.997 grade point average.
That is weighted, sadly.
It's weighted?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means like it's adding for the APs and honors.
That's adding for the APs and honors. That's a negative thing.
High school and maybe middle school. I don't know about middle school. But it's kind of sad. It should be above 4 point.
You think you're doing fine?
Tests are easy. Oh, I don't know about that.
Action Fig says, good luck, Olivia. Tests are easy. Wait until you have to be an adult.
Toilet and not
That was the whole point.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm glad I got it.
Graf says it doesn't work that way. If you mess up on the SAT, you get sent back to the 5th grade.
It might be 1st grade. I don't know.
Dude, she has almost a 4.0. And that's on her doing. That's what she wants, not what I want, not what her mom wants. I mean, I like it, but that's all her doing. So I'm proud of her because of that. Go take a shower.
Should be proud. Go take a shower. I took a shower when you were asleep.
Oh,
You're
okay.
saying I look dirty? Are you kidding?
I-
This is wet hair.
I just assumed you were coming in and take a shower and tell me you're
No,
taking a shower.
No, I came in because I heard you say my name.
I said your
You
name
said,
now when I come.
Olivia.
Yeah, but originally you came in here and I thought you were going to throw clothes in the wash. Then you were going to take. You know what? No one cares
I threw
about.
clothes in the wash.
Listen, no one cares about what you're doing.
Well, clearly you do.
Look, they all seem like, wow. Highest says you better get studying, but Tristan T says you got this. Everyone seems to be behind you.
Well,
Other
I
than
don't
Graf
think
says,
they don't really want SAT scores anymore, so that's good for me.
and Highest says 4.0 is 9/10 of the law, so you're most of the way there.
Thanks.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Anyway, so if you are interested, these are on Amazon, up for pre-order. Are they up now? No, spring. So, all right. Here's everything that you're going to get with them. Again, it looks like Man at Arms is the only one you get multiple weapons. So, Roman's doing better. His leg is a little weak. He can go up and down steps, but we still try and keep him from going up and down steps. But he still jumps up on the couch, and sometimes he doesn't make it up on the couch, and only his front paws are there, and he'll sit there. So the vet said it's going to take about a year to heal the torn ACL. So anyway, John says you're rage baiting her. Good job, Punk. That girl can't rage bait her. Well, I can't. Other people could. Anyway, here is the Origins He-Man and Origins Spikor. I had a hard time understanding this because they were all in the same thing as the vehicle that you see, but it looks like these are separate. So $19.99 because these are actual Origins. I don't know why these are different than the core. So He-Man looks dumb. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this look of He-Man, but hey, if you are and you love Origins, this is for you, right? You got to get that. You pick them up, have fun. 3-star says you got to get steps for the couch. We have an old mat, her old gymnastics mat, which is it's a 2-inch mat, but once it's folded, it's in 4 panels. But sometimes he doesn't use it, or if we have to move it, he'll jump up. So yeah, no, he won't use the steps like that. But this is a big mat, so it works out. But thank you. I would have just picked some up. Yeah, that's why we don't like him going up the steps. Not those steps are smaller. I know that, but there's been a few times like he'll struggle going up the steps and he takes his time. So it sucks because he likes to be up here. And if she's not here, then my son really doesn't go downstairs and spend time with him. And I'll start hearing him whimper after a long stream. All right. So here's Spikor. I don't know. I don't think they come with anything else. But I got to say, I do like his little mace. It's on the chain there. So, but I do like the fact that they're continuing Origins, even though we were told about 3 years ago that the line is dead. I guess it's not dead yet. All right, so the Master of the Universe Origins Fright Fighter vehicle, $39.99. I don't know how long this is in development, but I remember Bobby Vallis showing something very similar like 3 years ago, and it's still nowhere to be seen. So good luck on that one. Anyway, this is for the Origins. It really does. I'm assuming this is in the movie. We've probably seen little bits of it in the trailer and everything, but they are going to give you vehicles. So just another Origins vehicle. And again, if you're like so many of us, you can, swap things in and out. Callister, exactly. It looks a lot like the Dune vehicles, and that's exactly what I believe, Valaverse was copying, was the Dune vehicle that I'm assuming is coming out the same year of his movie. Anyway, here is the Origins Trap Jaw. Now, this is the movie Origins, I think. Or is it the core? I have no idea. Because after a while, you get tired of trying to figure out the certain information. And I think I think he's in the wrong file. All right, Master of the Universe movie core skeleton. Now, I tried noting them so I would have an idea. Again, 5.5 inches. This is from the movie that we haven't seen. I gotta say, this is an interesting looking character, and I have a feeling that when we get to the movies and we get to see these in the Chronicles, this guy may look really cool. This is now a company that maybe they are going to take that fantasy look, that fantasy that so many people seem to love. You can look at Mythic Legions and Savage Crucibles and some of these other companies, and now you have a more affordable company that might start making some stuff. And I hope this helps push down maybe the price of some of the Joes, although the Chronicle figures are like $28 too. So who knows if that would actually happen. But whatever this character is, he looks pretty damn cool. Obviously, some sort of skeleton, whether he's Skeletor of some sorts, I don't know. But pretty cool looking. And I hope I'd like to see a Chronicles version of it. Dominic John says, I love when you take shots at the Valid team when they need it. I know it's kind of petty, but they take shots at me too. So all's fun and love and war. Clint Jorgensen's telling me, okay, so I'm quickly reading this and I see Wolverine's up 9, and that's all that I saw. And I was like, I only have like the one Wolverine here. It took me a second because I didn't read the whole thing. Devil Dog here. Hi everyone. Better late than ever. Devil Dog, great to have you here. It makes me, again, I like that anyone can just jump in if you have some time. It's greatly appreciated. So anyway, here you go. I already forgot what this guy's name is. Skell Knight. Anyway, I'm interested to see this movie. I really am. There's no doubt about it. I'm definitely interested in this. So, Masters of the Universe movie He-Man and Sky Sled vehicle. Amazon, $26.99. This looks nothing like the Sky Sled that we had, and that's not putting it down. You're taking a movie version. Although I absolutely love the Sky Sled, the design of it was just so cool. I do like what the Origins did originally, making it so it could be either for the villains or for the heroes. But this is something different, and Russell Lemieux says that's a swamp skier. I'm sorry. I looked at this and I see the power of the force. The power of the force. Bikers, speeder bikes. When it's breaking apart and you take the front off, it looks very similar to a speeder bike. That's what I saw. I can kind of see the swamp skier, but I see the speeder bike more than that. Cooking with Eric says strong maybe on the movie. I need to see what Matthew says. And it looks like it does have a missile projectile. So going back to the kids, giving these kids what they absolutely love doing, and that is shooting projectiles, trying to knock over figures. Who didn't love that as a kid, right? Um, Trying to knock over your figures with something that shot out. But if you look at this, like I cannot not see the speeder bike. I mean, it is, yes. Um, Russell Lemieux says, "How the fuck does this fly?" How did the speeder bike? Again, it is a world of magic and magic and mechanics. It's a movie. That's how. Tristan T says sorcery, steroids. Anyway, there you go. If you are interested, this will be available or is available. Look at that. They actually give you extra rockets, so when you lose 2 of them, you still have 1. All right. The Mondo PowerCon exclusive 112th 200X anti-Eternia He-Man. Now, this is a PowerCon. I don't know what it's a convention exclusive, but BBTS was able to get some. They were $150. All it is a repaint of the Mondo He-Man. When I get the Origins anti-Eternia He-Man, it was a repaint. It was a black repainted He-Man. But damn, did I think it was such a damn cool looking figure. I liked it. I still have it. I really liked it. Like there was something about it that I'm like, this is just really cool. There is a chance that he is canceled before the end of the stream. Yes, Dominic. Yeah, Dominic Johnson says, "Oh man, that anti-Eternia He-Man looks pretty cool." I think maybe because it's not just like fully black; it has all these red accents. I normally would be like, "Yeah, it's a He-Man repaint," but dude, the Origins one and then this one here really, really pops. These Mondo figures are awesome. Like I think they look really good. I don't have any, but I really haven't heard anything awful about them. But the translucent weapons, the shield is like this translucent. Again, I just think this really pops. And this is only $150. I say only $150, but being that this is like a PowerCon exclusive, this is going to be one is like this. I think will be one that kind of shoots up in price because there's only going to be so many made. Now, how BBTS worked a agreement with them, who knows? They're BBTS, right? They're by far the largest independent toy store. But yeah, all the translucent weapons, the shield, it really, really makes it pop. Triple D's toy dungeon jumping in here saying, "Sup, people? Hi, it's me." Say it's the red and black bros love red and black things for some reason. And Super Tevin says he's black as fuck. I don't know why I said it like that. But the shield, like again, I think all of this really, again, it really pops. In my opinion, not to everyone. But here's everything that you're going to get with them: multiple heads, the sword, the axe, the shield, and some different hands. So anyway, this is 1/12 scale. If anyone is wondering, it is not the 1/6 scale figures. That's why it's $150 and not $300. But they look, again, I think this looks really good, and I totally forgot that it went up for sale. But if you are going to PowerCon, this might be one of those ones where even if you don't want it, it might be one of those ones that you want to pick up. I would start looking at if you're going to PowerCon, I would look and see how much this is going on eBay, because it might be just something you want to pick up and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to turn around and sell. What I wouldn't do is, if you have one ordered, already have it sold for more, because you're a douchebag if you do that. Anyway, Venom Spawn says, if it's red and black, Sign me up. No, I guess that makes sense for Venom Spawn. All right. So here we have the Masters of the Universe Origins Deluxe Beastman Mattel Creations, April 20th. Now, they said they're not sure if this is only a Mattel Creations exclusive. That is what Toy News International said. That's where I got a lot of these pictures from. Now, the thing that I did find interesting about this is that he's like 6.75 inches tall. So, if that's true, this means that they're making a much taller figure, basically saying, hey, Beastman is huge, which I think is awesome. I know that Operation Recall is doing it. I also know Delta 17 does it. They have 4-inch O-ring figures, a couple 4-inch to go with the 3.75, because believe it or not, not everyone is the exact same height. I know this because I'm short. So Super 7 says 6.75 inches is above the national average. God damn it. I need to read these things before I highlight them and just start reading. But Super Devin, you fit in here pretty well. And Cooking with Eric says 6.75 is huge, I heard. Is it huge you heard, or is that what you said? And I'm kind of with Thanos Captor saying that Beastman looks rough. But the more I looked at it, and the more I thought, like, if this is like from the movie, it kind of fits with the aesthetics. And look, you got a nice, soft, fluffy stuff for his shoulders. He needs to stay warm. He needs to stay warm. I mean, the rest of his body's cold and shit, but you're going to keep his shoulders warm, because that's what I always complain about, getting cold in the winter. But again, I did find it interesting that it said, I think it was 6.75, which is a whole inch plus bigger than a regular, what it really is. But we as men know how that goes. Thanos says the color clash is not doing it for me. No, and I get that. But who knows? Like, how many times have we seen an image of something, and then when we see the actual figure in hand, we're like, way different, right? So here it is, the Master of the Universe. Yeah, so this is from the movie here. This is the Beastman Savage Henchman with retro play. So if you are interested, this is going to go up. You can scan back to it. And here we can just kind of see Snake Mount in the background. But if I remember correctly, I think this is what Beastman does look like from what we saw in the trailers. And look at this. Baldy Locks jumping in saying, looks unfinished. Yes, kind of like our Tuesday Circle of Jerk shows. Looks unfinished. Okay. So this is where the Origins Trap Jaw was supposed to be. So the Master of the Universe 2026 movie Origins Deluxe Trap Jaw. So once again, you're going to get the movie core figures, which are $20. Now you're going to get the movie Origins figures, which are roughly $25 to $27, $28. You're going to get the Chronicle movie figures, and you're probably going to get Masterverse. It kind of blowing my mind. Hi, it's me. 6.75 advertised, actual size 4 inches. 4 inches with exceptions for shrinkage. Oh God. I swear to God, like this, you guys are degenerates. And I love it. And I love every second of it. I'm with you. I do like the Trap Jaw. I think they did a good job. So I don't know if they use any of the same pieces from the Origins trap jaw, but clearly the arm is completely different. The legs here look to be different. I would say maybe the bicep and the chest is the same, but he has a hook. It looks like he has a sword that goes on it, and the cannon, from what I can tell, is just when you take those off, you just have the cannon itself. Like there is no use, I guess they felt, creating a cannon. He basically has the cannon built in. So I think this looks good, and I think this every trap jaw is awesome for the most part, right? I have no issues with trap jaws. So here we have, for her pleasure, for Thanos' pleasure, especially for Toy Optics' pleasure, Masters of the Universe Chronicles, the Ram Man and Fisto 2-pack, Amazon, $39.99, spring of 2026. Well, I guess once again, a 2-pack, which is $40, where these Chronicle figures are 27 or 28. So once again, you're getting a deal. But as you can see, compared to these two, and Robo pointed this out, here we have Randman that looks really tall, taller than Fisto, and then all of a sudden he is shorter than Fisto. And if you look at the legs, there are extensions for the legs. So rather than to make him actually extend, they make the legs longer. So if you want your Juggernaut, Ram Man, to be taller, you can do it. I'm not sure if he's actually going to stand on 1 foot like that, but there's Fisto. I know Thanos already has ideas of what he can do with Fisto. I do think they look good. Again, until we see the movie. Hold on, give me a second. Until we get, until we see the movie and see exactly how these figures look, how close the actual face is to the actors, we have no idea. But looking at everything so far, that scare glow that I have, it makes me. I have a feeling I'm going to be picking up some of the Masters of the Universe, the main figures, and just having this is my definitive Master of the Universe line that I have, because I am out of the Origin. So here's the 2-pack. I don't know why they put Fisto's hand over here. I think someone messed up. It should be on the other side. But Fisto has the slapping hand and he has the punching hand. So. But again, $40 for the two of these figures, $20 each. It's hard to complain with what prices are these days. 3-star says, Fisto looks great. Ram Man looks pretty good too. Ram Man's always been a weird looking character too. Would everyone kind of agree with that? No one's ever said dude, I love Ram Man. He looks amazing. No, you love Ram Man because, he rammed things and you can knock things over. Fisto, I think, looks pretty good, right? They didn't do the fist huge. I'm sure there's ways. 3D printers have to be able to do a custom hand for him, or just specifically for Thanos. That is interesting. That is interesting. Wonder if Chronicles has more pop and swap options. I don't know, because I didn't try and pop anything other than the head off of my scare glow. So, let's see. And Cooter says Ram Man has extensions like mechanism. Yeah, exactly. Which I understand. I just don't think it looks right. All right, so Club Grayskull. Now, again, this is kind of where, again, MOTU's all over the place with this type of stuff, right? They're kind of like this fucking show. It's all over the place. Where some stuff you have to go to Club Grayskull, which you have to pay $10 to get it. Other stuff will just be on Mattel Creations. Other stuff is Chronicles, and other stuff is going to be Origins or the core. Like it's kind of messed up, and I think it's going to make it difficult for people to get everything if you're all into MOTU. I mean, I guess because Mattel's making it, it would be. I mean, I guess it's similar to the Star Wars. They have the Vintage series, they have the Black series, then they have um, there's another one. So again, I guess there's other different lines. So, all right. So Club Grayskull, this is your King Grayskull and Master of the Universe Chronicles. It goes up April 8th at 12 p.m. And he is ugly as fuck. All right. I'm glad I heard other people say the same thing, that this face just looks awful. I could not agree anymore. I have no issues with the body that it has, the the buck, the overlays, the sword, but the face and the man, well, it's not a man bun, it's the man ponytail. It looks awful. It doesn't look good at all. In my personal opinion, other people may disagree, but this is where it's like once again, they can't seem to get He-Man, King Grayskull. Some of these face sculpts are just awful, in my opinion. War Chest full of toys saying those ankles look odd. Yeah, they use the ball joint, which I think is what McFarlane uses. I hope they don't use that with. I really hope that the DC line is better. God, I hope it's better. Anyway, it does kind of look like Fabio. Anyone remember when Fabio was on the roller coaster and his face struck a bird and his nose was all bloody when anyway, back to Fabio Man. Yeah, so this is Mattel. I'm sorry, this is a what was it called again? Club Grayskull. For the honor, for $10, you have the honor to buy their figures. It does show you how tall it is compared to. Is that a Hordak? Lady Hordak? I don't know what it is. But yeah, so there you go. You can kind of see exactly how tall it is. Well, let's say I don't know, it's saying that it's 6 inches, which seems short, right? I don't know. I feel like that's not right. But there you go. Everything that you're going to get with it. It does have the new style hands, where the peg is actually on the wrist rather than on the hands. So, M. Hatfield said he either has had a bad or needs a chin job. That's true. It's Despera from Origins. Well, he's not an Origins figure, is he? No, he's not. And she's not an Origins figure, is she? I can't keep up. That's why it's so hard to talk about this stuff. Shell Present says that's She-Ra. Oh, is that She-Ra oh, that's right, because She-Ra is raised by Hordak or something. I don't know. All right, so Graph is saying, yeah, that's Origins Despera, a 5.5-inch figure. He's at 6. But this is... Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, because it's Chronicles. That's right. Because Chronicles are the... Okay, that's right. Chronicles are based on the 6-inch. Masterverse is based on the 7-inch. Again. Anyway, if you want him, he's going to be available. Go pick them up, enjoy them, have fun with them. Don't care what Pumpkin and the other idiots make fun and jokes about. All right, the Chronicles Trap Jaw. This is Mattel Creations on April 25th, 12 p.m. noon, $27. This looks really good. This does look really good. I do feel like what I saw from the movie Trapjaw seemed kind of thin, but again, if it's in the real person, then it's definitely one of those things where, you got to take liberties into how they look, right? You can't just beef everyone up CG or put them in suits. But I gotta say, this Trapjaw does look, it looks stellar. I like the gloss on the helmet. It really does pop. The green, I think, has such a good contrast against the helmet. The blue is awesome. And then you just have this dingy, dark gray black, which I think just works. And then obviously you can see some of the color in the legs. Daniel says, I like the Origins one more. So I guess I'm over the Origins look, because you really can't do that much posing with them. I really do like this one, but I also have the Masterverse one. I think I have the Masterverse one. I think I got my clearance, that I really like. So, but here you go. If you are interested, $27, which I don't think is a bad price at all. But I guess they are in the same range now as Joe Classified, and they also own the rights to it. So, this is where I guess MOTU people should start bitching and complaining about it. 610 Yojo Daddy, 610 Yojo Daddy jumping in saying, "What's up, Punk? What's up, chat? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Yes, please do. I'm hoping to hit I'm hoping we can hit 9,000 subs before we go to Joe Fest, and hopefully we can hit 2,000 followers on Instagram. If you haven't done that yet, please do. Graf says, except for the mistake they made with Scareglow being taller in Chronicles than King Grayskull, they have so many lines. Even they are confused. I agree. I don't understand the reason why you continue the Masterverse line if you're creating the Chronicles line. And I definitely don't understand why you have the core line if you're going to have the Origins line, and they seem to have the exact same aesthetic and be the exact same size, right? That is confusing to collectors. And I understand you want that. I definitely understand that core line because you want kids to be in it, but it seems to be very, very, very confusing. Just my own personal opinion. Anyway, well, they said it's not. They said they're still going to be finishing figures, and that it'll be through Mattel Creations. And again, I think that is where that's where people start getting confused, right? Again, here we are. We're having a debate on it. This should be like one of those things that was covered. Like, okay, Masterverse is dead. Chronicles is now the new Masterverse. It is a smaller scale. There shouldn't be any of this confusion. In my personal opinion, it should be fairly easy. And again, you're not talking about comparing again, even if you went, when I talk about Star Wars, you have the Black Series, which is 6-inch scale. You have the vintage, right? One is 4-inch, modern 4-inch, and one is their, 5 POA. Just like G.I. Joe, you'd have the modern 4-inch, you'd have the O-ring, and then you'd have, the 6-inch. So, they're very distinguishable where these aren't. Anyway, if you want this, there you go. And like I said, the gun here, they pretty much said there's no use giving a gun when he just creates the cannon, and then you'll have the sword and the hook plug into that. So I have no issues with that. I do like this, and again, this is really making me go, you know what? maybe it's time to step in and grab some of these main MOTU figures. Like, I'm not worried about the King Grayskull, but this guy here, I kind of like. And there he is in the packaging. All right. Whew. My goodness. On to some McFarlane. I don't have very much McFarlane stuff to talk about. But we do have McFarlane Week exclusively at GameStop. There's another one too. There's a female. So there's another female Mortal Kombat character I saw. I did not throw it in the slides. We talked about her. We talked about these ones earlier on. I just saw a clip on Instagram yesterday with Todd talking about it's McFarlane Week over at GameStop. We do it every week or every year. I'm like, really? Is it like? I'm like, is it really like that? Did you every year? Because I don't really remember at all. Yes, yeah, McFarlane, just for you. I leave these in here just for you, Tony. So here we have the Melissa. I totally thought she had a different name. I can't even say it. Starts with a B. She is from the Supergirl TV show. If you don't know David Speck, he worked on the show. He said she is a sweetheart. I said she's also hot. He left that out. I did ask if he filmed the scene where she's in her underwear when she's trying on new suits. He said no. I would expect him to say that even if he did. Anyway, this looks nothing like her. This looks nothing like her. And there's so many things wrong with this figure. Tatsi says Speck approves of this face sculpt. Man, I don't know. It doesn't. There's so much wrong with this. Her feet look just. She looks like she's wearing clown shoes. She looks like she's wearing clown shoes. And I pointed out that if you were to change the head, and get rid of the cape, you pretty much have Dot Matrix from Spaceballs. So I think everyone kind of see it. But like this is Dot Matrix from Spaceballs. So maybe he can get that license since he's losing DC. And since I don't know if that still holds weight. That was one thing that he could never do was merchandise. That was one of the agreements when George Lucas allowed him to do Spaceballs, no merchandise. But anyway, if you're interested in where was Melissa Benoist. I don't know. I thought it was Benoit for some reason. And he's like, no. So is it Benoist? He said it, and I trust him because he said she's a sweetheart. So clearly he knows her. They're probably has her phone number in his phone, but probably wouldn't say that because then his wife would find out, and then hell would break news and shit like that. Anyway, he was out in everyone today. If you want this, there it is. And there's the box for it. Again, I think I just think it doesn't look good. The whole body doesn't look good. The whole buck and everything. These, I guess, are the new figures. So we get the female Martian Manhunter. I forget what her name is. We get Martian Manhunter, and then we get Robin. So if you are interested, I think that we're coming to the end of the DC universe, whatever it is. And then NECA. I don't cover these. I cover NECA. Give me a second here. All right, so I normally don't cover this type of stuff, but turtles. And I threw this in only because, NECA is allowing you to pre-order their convention exclusives early, which I'm not sure if that's a unique good idea or like what the hell is use having a convention exclusive again if just everyone can get it. So Tony says, another Manhunter I have to fix. Ugh, I like the head sculpt. Again, Tony, you're going to waste all this money on this only for Mattel to put out a better looking product, and then you're going to be selling off all those other ones. So I can remember Tony said, I only want the 7 main Justice League figures. Boy, have times changed. Anyway, so this is the NECA convention exclusive. These turtles are in black and white. But you get this bonus accessory kit, which you can see is not in black and white. It is in color. And it goes with the 2012 Ultimate Action figures that are sold separately. So here's the turtles in black and white, which I actually think look pretty cool, right? I like the black and white effect. I think there's something very special about the black and white turtles. But then they give you these accessories. So like this is truly a way to be like, hey, well, if you have this and you don't have those turtles, you're either going to turn around and sell this, or it's going to force people to go ahead and find these figures, right? And here we go. We have this Michelangelo on skateboard. I always get Michelangelo and Raphael mixed up. Leonardo with his bow and arrow. Donatello, which is the coolest turtle, but dumbest head sculpt. And then the other one with his grappling hook. So again, pretty neat idea. But again, we all know what they're doing. They're trying to get people to go back and buy some of the stuff, or people to buy this because they already have the other ones. I guess it's something that companies have been doing, from the beginning of time. All right, so I was interested, or not interested, I guess shocked. They have a Batman, and what the hell's wrong with the fucking face sculpt? Someone tell me what's wrong with this fucking Batman face, because it's not right. Like, first off, it looks huge. It looks huge. Matthew says, how in the world could you mix up Raph and Mikey? Because I'm not a turtle fan. That's why. So Raph and Mikey have always been my two least favorite. So I never really paid attention. One has nunchucks, one has size. One is angry, one is not. But I don't know the difference. Raphael is cool but rude, and Mikey is a party dude. All right. So this picture looks really awful. Now, as you can see, this is all soft goods. And this is an 8-inch figure. At least from what I read. Now, from this angle, it doesn't look bad. From this angle, it doesn't look bad, but it still looks gigantic. And here's his bat rope or whatever it is, his grappling hook. But the real question is, when the fuck did NECA get a license to do this size of Batman. That's my question. Like, I know they've done other Batman, but have they done? Yes, he's very derpy, Ultramax. He's very derpy. It's like the head does not fit like the body. And I'll say this: I think the soft goods and everything, the body looks really good, but the head is completely it's wrong. Like, it just doesn't look right. But if you are interested in this convention exclusive, well, that's on you. Graf says too much soft good. That's a bat doll. I actually don't mind it. I actually think it looks pretty good. You don't normally say this too often, but the way this soft goods looks on this Batman, you can see the muscular structure underneath the suit, which is good, right? That's exactly what you really want to see. But yeah, it just, I don't know. There's so much wrong with this. But if you want it, if you're a huge Batman fan, but just look at this, like the head, it just doesn't match the body. So, and then here's everything that you get with it, which is a good amount of stuff, I guess. And remember, it is an exclusive that you can pre-order now, I think now. Anyway, and then we have this glow in the dark little child. For the life of me, I can't think of what these things are called. So someone in the comments will tell me. But if you want this, I definitely do like the glow in the dark stuff. It is neat. It is unique. I have all these LED lights that are on all the time. So the glow in the dark is not nearly as cool as it was before I put all the LED lights on. The LED lights are on all the time. So nothing really glows in the dark. But if you're interested, Ben Cooper, thank you very much, Self Presence. I don't know how well these are selling. I think that when you hit a specific aesthetic and somebody has an affinity for that, then they'll grab it. I know that if I see it, if they ever do a G.I. Joe one, I'm gonna grab it for sure. Because I dressed as that G.I. Joe figure. I dressed as that G.I. Joe character a couple of times as a kid. So, but if you are interested, there you go. Go get it, have fun, enjoy it. And then Mezco dropped this, and I gotta say, if it wasn't for everything else that I am expecting, Operation Monster Force, the Soldiers of Fortune, all the G.I. Joe pre-orders that we'll be talking about really soon, I would probably buy this Batman Joker and get this Robin. It looks like we're probably going to get a Scarecrow. I absolutely love the animated series. It is one of the best cartoons ever. Going all the way into, Batman Beyond. So anyway, if you want this Robin, it's Mezco, $116, as I have it right here. It is still available, or at least it was as of yesterday. It was still available on Mezco, but you can get it at places like BBTS. A lot of these shots look really good. Other shots don't look real. And you'll see what I'm saying as we get to it. But Mezco does a wonderful job of their photography, but I'm not the only one. I've heard other big-time YouTubers say they tend to hide some of their stuff, and so people don't see exactly what it is. But we can see the Joker back here. I really like this. And Matthew is saying the woman who voiced Wonder Woman in Justice League just passed away. Like just now, like while on this show, she passed away. Shelf President says, I'm in on the Robin for sure. The Batman is great. See that? It makes me want it really. you know, I have such a love-hate with Mezco. Um, I enjoy their stuff, man. I do. I hate. I had someone tell me that. Oh, I think it was Dead Man Juan that said like I had really good customer service. And I'm like, the fuck did you have good customer service from them? Like, do you know the owner personally? Like, I've never heard anyone say that they had good customer service from Mezco. Uh, but it definitely makes me like, for me, like, this is a Batman that this whole series, I could say, you know what, I'm gonna put this aside. Uh, that's, you know, it's just it. So, uh, I don't think it's not that 2026 is killing everyone. It's just that we're of the age that the people that we watched that are 20 or 30 years older than us are dying off. That's all it is. Action figures sold separately. Jumping in here saying JLU and Justice League are great cartoons. I agree. It was smart that they took the aesthetics of Batman the Animated Series and made Justice League of America and then Justice League Unlimited. It's the Superman. Like, I'm glad that they kept the aesthetic. So, and obviously you kept Kevin Conroy as the voice. That he's always going to be the voice of Batman. I don't care what anyone says. There'll never be another voice as good as Kevin Conroy as Batman. And before Matthew says, and he also got to be Batman in Crisis on Earth in the Arrowverse, I guess. I'm just getting that in before Matthew drops his knowledge on people. Anyway, if you want this Robin, it's available. Yeah, I like the Mezco stuff. I think they do a good job, but I do have a distinct love-hate for them. And Matthew says Kevin Conroy was the best. Glad I got to meet him a couple times. I like when Matthew name drops people he's met. Clint Jorgensen says Don Knotts did a good Batman. So here we have the Scarecrow. They haven't announced the Scarecrow, and we know they don't always. I know they don't always show only their figures. The G.I. Joe figures had a lot of classified that were in, but they show the Scarecrow way too much to not think that they're doing a Scarecrow. Now he's $116, so he's expensive. Like, he's not $200, but $116. Yeah, but yeah, it's expensive. So anyway, if you are interested in a definitive Robin, like, this here does not look like a photography. This looks like an actual, like, this looks like something drawn in. So, same with this one here. Something about this does not look like it's photography. So there you go. If you are interested, you can get this Robin to go with your Batman. And there you see the Scarecrow again. So I'm assuming that we're going to have a Scarecrow coming. So basically, if you want Batman, Joker, and Robin, you are looking at roughly about $400 after taxes and all the other stuff we absolutely hate. So yes, very expensive for these. All right. So there's Robin. Again, I do like what they give us. So here's everything that he comes with: multiple heads, multiple hands, their classic stand, which is a really good stand. It's just a good flight stand, is what they really are. And then here's all of his accessories: flashlight, looks like a blowtorch, some sort of repelling gun, all different types of stuff. Whew, all right. And now we're on to G.I. Joe, but I definitely need to take a quick break. So you're going to get to hear from this guy.
Welcome back to Late Night with Mothman. Tonight's guest, he's the man behind the 36-hour Toys for Tots Punkathon. Please welcome at this time, live via telephone, Punk with Toys, yeah! It's great to see you, great to have you on the show. How you doing today?
I thought I was told you to stop Collins Maze.
Lawrence, I thought you just meant for that day. I thought maybe you had the grumble dust or something, just need a little bit of privacy. But, you're here now, so most people think that your personality is 50% G.I. Joe action figures and 50% falling off a skateboard. But you've done this great thing with the Punkathon, and now it's 2 years running, and you're making all this money to donate to the kids, and that's awesome. I mean, listen to all these phones going off from our call center, Lawrence. Phones have been ringing off the hook all night. Was it? Where's Tony's Figs at? Tony's Figs said he was gonna come answer some of these phone calls for us. Baseman. Put one of them phone calls through. Hi, caller. You're on Late Night with Mothman with special guest of Punk with Toys.
I'm on the air.
Yeah, you're live.
So, Punk, I just want to say, man, I love your channel. It's got me through some real hard times. Man, I agree with everything you say about Ohio, too. It probably should be turned into a parking lot. Go blue, am I right? But I gotta say, I don't really like when those Boss Man skits come on. His little beady eyes kind of give me the willies. And
oh, okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you. So, Lawrence, I know you're really busy, so we're gonna let you get back to your 36-hour stream-a-thon. But thanks for joining us. And is there anything you want to say before we go, Lawrence? Hello. Oh, I think we got disconnected. Oh, he hung up. Well, I guess we still got a whole bunch of more exciting shows going on tonight through the 36-hour stream, so you can catch people like Allison Troy and Toy Connections and Bees Battlegrounds and all sorts of other fun stuff. So make sure you keep watching and you keep donating. And let's get back to the show.
All right, on to some G.I. Joe, which I guess that would be the bread and butter. I don't know why that's such a saying, but anyway. I know everyone's already talked about this. It's been almost a week. We even did a special missions on the Circle of Jerks, but I don't get to say enough when there's 3 other people on. So anyway, these were the things that were dropped that went up for pre-order last week, and that is the Renegades, Red Dog, and Taurus. $60. That is the new price point of the 2-packs. Once again, I will have my complaints, and I know people will say that I show for G.I. Joe and for Hasbro. It is a property that I absolutely love, but if a figure costs $28 now, and when you buy things in bulk, you're supposed to get them cheaper. I don't understand how that adds up to be $60. It just makes no sense. And the majority of I guess not the majority, a lot of the times these weapons are stuff we've already had. So anyway, we have already seen these figures. Not only have we seen these, Bees Battleground and Shark Eyes Toys Reviewed both have these up. They have them in hand. So you can already see exactly how they are. And Tony says, "Oh, you say more than enough. My God." Tony's always interrupting people, so Mike Gold jumping in and saying, "All right, all right, all right." So it does look like he's coming with Duke and Stalkers, submachine gun. I do think these shots are actually really good. And Lenny talked about the two figures and how, he made, Taurus smaller as he's an acrobat. And Red Dog is a bigger figure as he's a Samoan kicker that was kicked out of the National Football League, which again, I think if that's by, it's supposed to be from unnecessary roughness. Kickers normally don't, they don't get a chance to roughing people up. Anyway, so Clint Jorgensen is saying Wolverines are redeeming the Fab Five with this. Does that mean they've won, or look at that? So see, I didn't watch it this time. I didn't watch it this time. If you remember, like I said, if University of Michigan football team is ever in the national championship again on Monday, I'm not doing the show. But yeah, so this is one of those things. He talked about it. I like the fact that that these figures are different sizes. It's how they should be. We have this football, and how they're going to reuse the football, who knows? I'm sure they will find a way. Before anyone says the fridge has to license his likeness before they can use a football for the fridge. It's just how it is. Kimberly says, note, $59.99 is actually a price decrease at Short Fusion Steelers and Ghost Vipers, where the Dire Beasts were $62.99. I don't remember them being $62.99. I honestly, I don't remember them being $62.99. I thought they were always $59.99. I'm not saying I can't be wrong. I don't remember them being $63. Either way, it's still more than the 28 times 2. So I still stand by what I said. And because I said the same thing when they were $55 and the figures are $25. That price point was just wrong. So yeah, I mean, it's completely wrong. But yeah, this is one of those ones that I am interested. I think we're going to see. I don't think that they're done with doing stuff with Sergeant Slaughter, right? They paid for that licensing for Sergeant Slaughter. I don't know if it's a licensing fee like Fox had with the Fantastic Four, so they just put out a shitty movie just to make sure they didn't lose it, or Sony with Spider-Man. But yeah, Kimberlin says football is already reused as an abandoned tool from the starting lineup NFL. Oh, I mean, I'll take your word for it. I don't know that, but I'll take your word for it. Because if that's true, it means that it was never, if it was abandoned, it means that they never had to give that over to the NFL or whoever was paying for the license, or whoever they were paying for the licensing. Like what we've talked about with the Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe, like they can't reuse the same stuff. So anyway, he really played on the acrobats, being acrobat here. Shooting the Galaxy, I don't think did these. Also, why Southpaw? Why Southpaw? It really does bother me. Kimberlin says Hasbro Paul $62.99 price. Walmart and Target did their own things. All right. Well, like I said, I honestly I don't remember that, but I'm not saying I was wrong. Or I'm not saying that you're not right. Just saying. Oh, okay. So same reason Gambit got the NBA starting lineup. Mold reused for the 2-packs. But that would mean, from my understanding, that now that is now owned by Disney. From my understanding, that if they use anything, they get the. I'm not going to discuss it because I really don't care. Anyway, so here's everything that you're going to get with them. We've seen, with Red Dog, we've seen the pistol and the gun and the backpack numerous times. Obviously there's a new hand that had to be done here. Taurus has, new blades, a new gun that does look similar to. It does look similar to what his A Real American Hero gun was. It's classified up. So there is a lot of new tooling in this. The Bucks have a lot of the same tooling. Kimberlin probably hasn't broken down on the Facebook group, The Pit. And Airborne Customs also probably hasn't broken down. So there's the packaging for it. I don't think either. I could be wrong. I try not to watch the reviews till after I get my stuff in. But I don't think either Bee or Shark show the packaging. So here's the back of it. I do like the fact that he does come with a the stand for the football, so they can actually so he can actually kick it. It is interesting that they do stuff like that. So, all right, and they started to do these digital file cards, which, good Lord, it's been long enough. Like, there is no reason why they shouldn't have been doing digital file cards. Again, for the most part, they already had them written up. They might have had to change a few things here and there, and they would have had to create a few new ones for a few of the new characters that they actually created. And I understand that they can't put them on the box because of the 5L. It makes it very difficult, but there is no reason that they could not have continued to do something digital like this. I'm glad that they finally broke down and did this. Now, again, a lot of this goes to budgetary reasons. And it also comes down from the top. And it seems like after 5 years into this line, Hasbro is finally like, yeah, you know what? This property that we fucking own on our own. Yeah. This property that we own on, that we take all the profit. We should probably put some money into it because it's here to stay for quite some time right now. Yes, they got tired of the QR code to nowhere comments. It takes you straight to hell. But yeah, this is one of those, again, really, really easy to do. Kimberlin says should be inserts like the 50th Toys R Us line. That would be smart. I'm with you. And those ones, if I remember correctly, didn't they give you they gave you multiple file cards for each language rather than just like a little blurb. But yeah, it's interesting. So anyway, here they are. If you are interested, you can pause it and read them, or you can just go to the G.I. Joe site. I think it's on the G.I. Joe site. I actually haven't seen where they're at. I just seen them post some of the stuff. All right, so here we have Grunt, retro card. I know there are people that say, hey, you know what? I didn't need this, and then don't buy it. You saved yourself money. All right. Not everyone has to go and buy everything. That is what I choose to do. That is what other guys choose to do. You don't have to buy everything. I'm already hearing people say, I'm just going to do this. Then that's great. Just do that, right? Like, you don't have to buy everything. Okay, so someone is coming in here to write a note to me. But if you want, again, people, I think, want them on card. They want them to look like what we had as kids, But how many people did we see whine and cry that, that grunt, he has the wrong helmet, he has the wrong plate carrier. Now they are giving you exactly what you want, and it's on the retro card, which is how it should be. Okay.
I want to go back downstairs.
Well, why would I want to go downstairs?
Because you're gonna go down there anyway.
Why would I go downstairs?
To put my clothes in the dryer. Please.
Why don't you just go down and...
Because then I have to
She left
put
me...
the dryer sheet and the lint and everything.
So, okay, so come on.
It's because I knew if I told you, you wouldn't do it.
So, understand, she clearly is not shy. She writes me a note to put Olivia's clothes in the dryer, please.
With punctuation.
Well, with punctuation, but then is here just blurting it out.
No, because I know you're not going to remember.
I still might not remember.
Oh, that's why I put it right here. I put it right where you're looking. I was thinking maybe I'll put a stick, on your monitor.
All right.
I saw you looking at this, so I knew.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
I will do it. You going to bed?
Quite soon, yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Love you, night.
Good night. Love you.
Bye, guys.
3-star says.
Remind him to put
3-star
my
says,
notes.
I hope she used punctuation. She has a 3.97 GPA, correct?
Might be 3 nines.
It might be 3 9.
999. Might be.
Darren, it is closer to 4.0 than what you have it, and that's pretty damn close.
What is that?
3.97.
Oh. Everyone, remind him to put Olivia's clothes in the dryer.
Tony says, night, Livia.
Good night, Tony.
All right.
Everything I have to say about him has to be said in private.
Good night. I love you. Good Lord.
Good night, love you. Make sure. Thanks.
See, by the comments, I know which ones of you have a teenage daughter and which ones don't. Anyway. The one thing I can say about, and again, I do think this looks good. It's giving people what they want. Matthew says once they release Flash and Grand Slam, we will have all 82 and 83. 83 was complete a long time ago with Doc. And you know what? Those people that keep complaining that they don't know what they're doing, they haven't given us Flash or Grand Slam. They know exactly what they're doing, man. They know exactly what they're doing. I'm not saying you're not saying that, but yeah. Todd C says, Punk, don't forget the laundry. And Cal says the weapon is bent even in the promo pics. Well, it's not like they're using different weapons. It's not like they're using different weapons. Where's it bent though? I mean, I'm sure it is, but I don't really notice it here. Matthew says, let's see how many laundry comments we get at the end of the show. Oh, I'm sure there will be a whole bunch. And Lego Star Wars Kids, technically we don't have all the 83 drivers. Who are we missing? 83. I'm sorry, I was thinking 82. That's right. But anyway, the backpack is close enough to what the original was. I'm glad they made it. That was like the smallest backpack ever. But here you go. This is as close, I think, as you can get to the original. They should have done a regular M16 though, in general. Not one with the scope, but I understand what they were trying to go for. And again, that is, it is what it is. And Baldy says, I don't need another grunt. So now, am I the only one that when this was shown off had to do a double take thinking that this was the 4-inch Walmart exclusive from about 6 or 7 years ago, because it's very, very close. And I totally had to do a second take on this, and was like, wait, oh yeah, okay. But anyway, here's how it looks. If you want it, get it. Here's the cross sell, which is the saddest cross sell ever. I will reiterate, the file card should be on the bottom, and there should be a cross sell of many, many, many of the original or the retro figures. No reason not to, but they don't do that. All right. Techno Viper. The purples are a little different. He's got silver at the top. He's got a silver gun. I don't know why they didn't do all the weapons in like that silver, because that's what he pretty much came with. Again, if you're doing retro, go retro. That's really what you should do. People are already complaining, because this one has, you can get them on clearance or get them. I think I just recently bought one for like $16. Again, you don't have to buy it. And doing figures like this is where they're able to say, okay, we can give you a new figure, a new vehicle, by putting out a couple repaints. That are going to increase our budget. Because whether or not Hasbro is a billion-dollar company, they have a budget too, and you have to increase that budget by proving to the shareholders, and the board, hey, this brand makes money. So, yeah, and I'm with Kimberlyn, and it makes no sense because they did the gun. So all the weapons should have been silver. Once again, if you're doing retro, you need to do retro, especially if you have weapons. Again, they don't have to be the exact same. But if you have weapons that are very similar, then you should be. And I don't care. It doesn't bother me that they gave Grunt the XMLR, right? I don't care that they give you something extra, but they should be giving you as close to original as possible. And again, I go back to the Snow Serpent, right? There is no reason why the Snow Serpent should not. I mean, that's when they should have retooled the backpack to have that rocket mortar, and given him just the AK-47 in gray, that came with the Cobra officer. That's all you had to. That's all you'd have to do, right? So, anyway. But either way, I like this. And they did talk about changing the color here. Now, it is odd that they took the heads up, like the HUD display, that they took that away. Why wouldn't you do that? It's got to be in the tooling. But they took that away. Just give that. Do a green one. Do something, a different color. I know the original didn't have it, but that's, again, you already have it. So, there is that. Super Davin says the classified version has a paint app backpack too. They are saving money on this peg warmer. That's exactly what they're doing. But it is one of those things that will increase the budget. And I will say it again. I know a lot of people don't like hearing it. As long as they are giving us new characters, I don't have a problem with them doing repaints. I do not have to buy any of these. As long as the stores buy them and they make some profit off of it, and they're putting that money back into creating new characters, and I'm happy with where the line is going. Into Mystery jumping in here saying that was the best part. I don't know what that's about, but. And then Jay Solo Art saying proper snowshoes would have been nice. Yes. So back to the eel and the Snow Serpent. The eel should have had his weapon. I'm okay with the backpack, right? That was very close. And the Snow Serpent, again, that's one of those ones where it's that's one of those ones where you have the AK-47. You didn't have to do the exact same AK. You could have given them that. People would have been happy in gray. You need to do the backpack with that mortar and then the snowshoes, right? Because it is something you're saying this is retro. So you take it away from something else. Classified, do whatever you want, right? But on the retro card, this is you saying, hey, we're giving you the retro, but you're not getting the full retro. That's where I have a problem. So anyway, there you go. And I do feel like the artwork is better. Like, I don't know if they finally really got a real person to do it, if this is still AI art. They are going with when the figures came out. So on this one here, you can see this is the digital background rather than the explosion background, where Grunt here has the explosion. He was at the point where they had the digital. So they are following that type of stuff. Kimberly says Techno Viper is 2 per assortment case, 1 Grunt, 1 Wild Bill. This will be widely available for cheap. Well, it is until it isn't. And again, if this is something that you want, and I will continue to say it, do not play clearance chicken with something that you want. Just Jeff jumping in and saying, not all product is product you need to consume. You're absolutely correct. You know, if you don't want to do it, then, you know, if you don't want to buy it, then you don't buy it. And I know people love to say this, the Ross pegs inbound, but eventually this stuff's not going to be there. And it doesn't really matter as long as there is a specific quota from, you know, that Hasbro sells, but also a specific quota that Walmart and Target and those box stores, as long as they sell their quota, then they have made their money back and then some. Right? All right. So here is our Wild Bill. And it seems a little early considering they haven't given us a HISS driver. Like, they haven't given us a HISS driver. But Wild Bill came fairly quickly. I really have no problem with this. You know, I don't think it devalues the HasLab one. It is different. It is a numbered. And it is, you know, it's going to be a much lower quantity. And anyone that is a completist is going to need that one. So if that's what you're interested in. So they did change the gloves, or they actually took away the gloves. Most of this looks the exact same. Now, a lot of people are saying that, you know, I'm sorry. I'm going to change some things here. All right. First, the belt here was always meant to be swapped around. Now here he doesn't have them as a cross draw, it doesn't look like. At least that's not how they have them in there. But if you turn it around, it's a cross draw. And I think it was meant to be like that on purpose. I think they designed it so you could swap it around so it could be a cross draw. But if you spun it the other way around, on one side you had the steer, on the other side you had the actual belt buckle. And I think they did that on purpose. So you could have that as your retro. So quickly, we have SCS Dog member for 5 months. So you're going to quickly get the...
Fucking Phil Collins.
She's not here, so we can't do it live. But anyway. So this was... Everyone kind of pointed out that you're not going to get the hat that has the hair. So like with, and I remember I reached out to Lenny and other people did too. He told me that I said, hey, is it possible that you could give us a Calvary hat without hair for pictures? And he said, yep, that's something we've actually started to discuss. The thing is, they designed that hat that it goes on over the hair piece. I don't even use the hat with the hair, which was annoying because I took him out to do the Cowboy Deadpool review, and we'll just say that it was annoying getting him back in there. So what they basically did here was, from what I can see, is it looks like they gave him the hat that just fits over his hair. So no matter what, the hair will probably always stay on. All right, and here's the back of the card. And again, it's one of those things. Now here they're showing the hat with the hair, but these other pictures, it doesn't look like. I mean, maybe they're hiding. Maybe he's hiding it there, but there's no reason for them not to just give them the regular hat, because the regular hat goes right over it. But yeah. So we'll see, I guess, when it comes out. Super Davin says, first time I ever seen Wild Bill's eyes. Oh, you must not have the HasLab then. Right. Ultraman says, I'm so happy they're releasing him. I gotta say, I am too, because then I can have one outside of the Dragonfly. Putting figures in and out of the Dragonfly is a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. We'll just say that. And so here's what Matthew says. I flipped the HasLab for cross draw on day one because I saw a Longhorn stamp on the back, and that belongs up front. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I believe that was designed on purpose, knowing that, hey, we'll spin this around. So now there's a cross draw, and he's gonna have the Longhorn logo in the front, just like the O-ring. And it's kind of like they were already pre-planning it, in my opinion. All right, so now let's get to what everyone either loved or hated, and that came to the price, and that is Destro and the Despoiler. And again, this was one of those things that I was told about back in November. This was the thing that War Chest, he sent all this stuff to Viper Island. Viper Island tried making people look like a fool. In the end, Viper Island looks like a fool because all the shit that was sent to him was correct. Everything that was discussed, that stuff is coming to fruition. And now not everything that we discussed has shown up or been announced yet, but again, more and more stuff continues to show up. So anyway, $110, and I'm already seeing the comments. Ultramatch saying 110 is insane. I ordered 2. Again, we talked about this on the Circle of Jerks, right? When people talk about this price, the real question becomes, one of the real questions becomes is that, one of the real questions is you look at guys like Ramen Toys, Gridiron, Mezco, right? They're pumping out $150, $250, $400 vehicles, and people are eating them up. So is 110 crazy? When Hasbro and the marketing team and their research team is looking at this stuff, they're seeing that these people are paying this. It's not insane for the most part, right? I mean, it kind of is what it is. But this Destro looks amazing. I mean, he is awesome looking. It is hard to complain. It's hard to believe that they haven't redone Destro since Wave 1. Yes, they did the Pimp Daddy Destro. That was the exact same Destro, just with with that weird cape on him. And then they did the retro one with eyebrows and a few different things. but the fact that they haven't given us an updated Destro says a lot. And I don't know if they'll do another retro carded Destro because they've already done it. But as much as I like that original Destro, it is an amazing buck. It would be great to have a newer buck when when you're looking at it. So, but here is Destro in his despoiler. He talks about the heads up. There's a picture of the Baroness there that is yelling at him, which I find kind of comical. When you think about stuff like that, it's funny. Like, and these are little things that, I mean, people can say that the Hasbro team doesn't care, that they don't know anything, but this is what makes, again, this is supposed to be fun, right? We're all in agreement that, we're in this for fun, not just because, I'm not here for value. I want to have fun with this. And if you can't have fun, then, that is really on you. But hey, that's how this goes. And I apologize. I just realized that I lost a lot of slides. There's a bunch of slides that cut it off because YouTube stops. I'm sorry, this StreamYard stops at 200. And I just realized that, wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of slides I'm not going to have. So I'm redoing it right now as we as we speak, so I can upload these. So bear with me as I try and figure out how to do this. But anyway, oh shit. Here we go. I'm just getting rid of this so I can create another slide to talk about some more of the G.I. Joe. But anyway, I think this spoiler looks awesome. I've heard people complain that it's too big. There was one person in the Circle of Jerks that said I can just order a 3D printed one. And we were all like, that's awesome. You can. But, kind of understand, understand that that's, it's going to be different. Like, this thing it's much bigger. When you look at the actual despoiler with Destro in it, it's small. This thing is close to being a foot long. It looks like it might be longer than 12 inches across. This thing is very large. And yes, the original one was a nice little mid-sized vehicle. This one, not so much. And again, that is perfectly fine. Like, that's what you're supposed to, that's what you're, looking for, right? You want something different. You're supposed to want to, change it. So, but anyway, I think the Destro looks good. We kind of talked about everything that he has. A lot of rockets on this thing. I love all the troops. And I think this is the one where you really get the size scale of how big this thing is. Like, those wingtips are well over his head. For them to sit down, again, it's much bigger. You have a really interesting gun system. He talks about the optics on the bottom, which I think is actually pretty cool. That's one of those things that no one really, I know Krusty O. Crow complained about, I think it was Crow. He complained about it in the HasLab. And he said that, they did all this work with the Dragonfly and they didn't give the optical sensor, the radar that it should have had. And he's absolutely right. But they did it with this. So, I got to say, I am happy with this. Here's everything. It does look like these two missiles up here are the same missiles that come with the Stinger. Then you have two smaller rockets that go right in the front, and then you have these 6 ones that look like they're the same ones that come with the claw. Destro is a new style buck for sure. That extra head sculpt, that was the one thing nobody talked about. Nobody talked about this. I know I mentioned it when it finally came to light. I'm like, I saw the pictures, unless they cost it out, which is exactly what I was told. He's going to have the screaming head. And I have no problem with the screaming head as long as you have a regular head, which they do. Now, my understanding, I haven't seen it, but I have no reason not to trust the person that told me this, is that the female Crimson Guard was supposed to have an unmasked head. They costed it out for the backpack. I don't think we really needed the backpack, as it is a little bit too big for her. Billy Boy Story say, anyone want an extra despoiler? I don't. Why? I'm assuming you only want the figure. And Matthew says, no one except Destro and my sport animal war chest and you. Oh, about the no one about other than us with what? I guess I'm confused on that. I obviously said something. I would say then just wait, because I would assume this one will probably be. They have to reuse this buck, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this one later on be put on a retro card, even though he never came in a retro card. Or I mean, no, he didn't. So I never had this till just recently. The screaming. See, okay, I don't remember War Chest or I don't remember Destro as my spirit animal talking about a screaming head. I remember him talking about the sword through the shield. I don't remember him talking, and I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I don't remember. I don't remember hearing that. That's all that I'm saying. Dominic Johnson says, Punk, do you think they should have added lights or something else for that price point, or is this a new price point? Hasbro? No, this is a new price point. I think because I think until we see it in person, I don't think we're going to realize exactly how big it is. It is longer than the Vamp. Like its width is longer than the Vamp. I don't think anyone has seen how deep it's actually going to be. That's what she said. But by in no means am I saying that I like it at 110. I think this thing should have been, cheaper. But I think when we get it in hand, we're going to see the reason why it is. All the missiles that you're seeing, all the accessories that do come with Destro. It's disappointing that these things have gone up. Again, everything has gone up, and I know everyone knows this. The price of oil to make these figures has gone up. My biggest issue with the price point and stuff going up because of tariffs and oil and stuff like that is that they don't bring it down when that stuff goes down. That's the only thing. 3-star here says for 110, it didn't need to be vac metal. It should have been electroplated gold. Come on, like you people are in an expensive hobby, yet you guys all want shit for fucking Ross prices. That's one of my biggest issues. And again, I understand these things are going up, but come on, man. And Matthew says, I wish it should have been 80 at most. You wish it should have. Is that an educated wish? I just watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and I love the educated wish line. I didn't hear anything about spring-loaded missiles. I didn't know if you were asking me that. I don't think there's anything spring-loaded. I don't think they're interested in doing stuff like that. It doesn't look like it, but it gets to be interesting if they did. All right. So here's the box art and everything. Here's the back of it. Now you can you can see how big this thing really is. It's almost 6 inches tall, which would make it taller than the Vamp, right? And unfortunately, they don't give you the length. And I don't understand why they don't show you the length or tell you what the length actually is. But this is the reason why the price point is what it is. You have all these little missiles, you have the guns at the front. This thing looks like it's got to be 8 inches long. So it is a big piece. It's not that mid-sized piece, but again, you look at what the ferret was, and the ferret was $55. So it's just obviously one of those things. Here is his file card that I know everyone was interested to see. So this was something that I did not hear about. I did not know about this. They put guns on the bottom of the shield, and they made jokes, and they said, hey, you know what? Destro makes weapons, and it only makes sense that he'd have, these two blasters, these two lasers on the bottom of his shield. And I actually think it's actually kind of cool. You don't really think too much of a shield having, blasters, but it really wouldn't be that hard for him to lift up and fire. So I think it's actually kind of cool. Something a little bit different for sure. All right. Now, there was some more to talk about, but I need a quick little just sit back and breather. And you guys need to remember what you're supposed to do tomorrow.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news discussions and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
All right, so Matthew said I initially thought the sword came out of the shield. That's because that's what Destro's my spirit animal said. I think he said that is what War Chest said. I remember the sword in the shield. I don't remember ever... because the sword was huge, and that was one of the things that was pointed out, that it was like Darklon's sword. So I don't remember ever thinking that. So I don't remember ever really touching on that. I don't think that I did. Ryan Daly says, my problem with the despoiler isn't the price. My problem with the despoiler is it's not classic ripcord. Not having ripcord is a head scratcher, right? It really is. They have them. I mean, we know he's coming. I would have rather seen ripcord come before Wild Bill, or at least his Wild Bill. They should have done a blue and gold Wild Bill, whatever. That would have been more sense in my own personal opinion. J. Jetman says, I'm in this hobby to have fun. If I have to pay a little more for a figure, as long as my bills are paid, then I'm good. And that's the proper attitude to have. I agree with you, Jeremiah, right there. But I do understand the price point, and they do have to say when is enough. But when Gridiron keeps pushing out $400 vehicles, and people are buying them, that marketing team, that Hasbro research team is going, oh, we can do 110 with a figure. So I really don't want to hear about it. But yeah. Kimberlin says, remember War Chest has stated part of the information he told Destro my spirit animal was bogus. I don't remember him saying that. Not saying he didn't. I just don't remember him saying that. But yeah. Okay. So this Wednesday, we get this. Now we discussed this on Circle of Jerks. Baldy in our chat was like patting himself on the back, like he was in some sort of mood. Look, I got it right. Look, like, all right, dude, calm down, man. Like, it's all right. Like, it's okay. Like, you got it right. We got it. So this thing is meant to work with the Cobra fortification, which means we're getting a G.I. Joe version. Which we are getting a G.I. Joe version. There are some people that are not happy about the straps. It's a toy strap. I don't know what you really wanted. But this does, if you want to make more walls, this can be used for walls, which is an interesting concept of how they're making it, which means there's going to be way more to go with that Cobra fortification. So the people that missed out on it, when they come out with something else, you might want to grab it, because I think that this is just going to be meant to be built on more and more and more. So Clint says, wasn't he vindicated in what he told him? War Chest didn't. No, I was with War Chest. The same person that told me everything told War Chest. So there's nothing that War Chest told him that wasn't true. That's the only thing that I'm saying. Like, I just don't remember War Chest saying certain things. And again, like, none of this was written down. This was all stuff that was told to us. So you're going by memory or by remembering what you might have saw, right? So there were plenty of things that got brought up that I went, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that one. I totally forgot about it. So it's one of those things. That's, yeah. I know exactly where War Chest got it, so I don't need to be like he was vindicated. There was a reason why Viper Island took only pictures of me with War Chest, and I guess he had one with Mikey, right? Like, he didn't happen to pick that picture. He picked that picture on purpose, Kimberly says, if only the porta potty was more widely available. Well, I do remember anyone had the chance to get it. So here's another thing. They specifically said, hey, this also can be towed like the original Chameleon. I have no inside knowledge. I can tell you this Chameleon will be done again, right? Like, there's no way they're not doing it again. If you ask me, they are pretty much saying, hey, there will be a Destro with Chameleon with this box. Right? What are these holes for on the side? Is there a way to put skis on it? Like, that's what I'm like. When they showed this and they showed how it hooked on, I went, ugh. They are going to give you another Zartan with a Chameleon with this on it. They have to find another way to use it. But yes. And yeah, so yeah, Matthew says it looks like it has the holes. Yeah, like I think that this is definitely going to be redone. And then uh, West Don of Pops. Totally happy with the Destro offering. The price is the price. It's not like they can reuse the mold for the despoiler, similar to the Serpentor. Best they can do is reissue if there's a demand. But that's where I disagree. The despoiler, although they shouldn't, they can reuse it for something Iron Grenadier. They can reuse it for something Cobra. Okay, you know what I meant. Again, it's one of those things where, they can and probably will reuse it. I'm not saying that they should, but they probably will. They have to get that. The Air Chariot, that's a whole nother story, but that was done at a different time of what they were doing, what they were trying to do. But anyway, this goes up on Wednesday. They talked about how you can build out your crew. I think this tells us we're going to get a Dragonfly version. We should have got the Dragonfly version first, as it actually makes more sense for a Dragonfly than for the Rattler. But technically, the Rattler is a VTOL and can take off straight up. So Darren says in the Energon comic, the despoiler is used by the IG troops as well, not just Destro. There is reason to reissue or army build it. And I think it's safe to say that they are going to start pulling they're going to start pulling from the Energon universe. They've already kind of hinted at that, just so you guys know. Anyway, here it is, Pulse exclusive, 1 p.m. for premium members, 2 p.m. for all fans. If it sells out, then it sells out. It's on you. If it sits there for 3 months and then it sells out, I'm sure people will whine and cry and bitch and moan and do all that other stuff. If you don't want it, don't get it. I'm guessing this is going to be around $80. You're looking at 2 figures. That's a $60 price point. And then you have this box. It's not as big as the Fortification, so it's not nearly as much. I'm hoping $20, so I'm hoping around the $80 price range. Jamie Garcia says, if they can release Zartan with SDCC uniform colors, but without the flesh color change gimmick, I'll be happy. You're talking about this. He has the silver, like the silver on him, right? That's probably my least favorite of all the Zartans, to be honest. That's probably my least favorite. The retro card is my favorite. I mean, and most people said the same thing. But each their own. But I understand. Like, if you don't have it, but I think it would be something a little bit different. I think it would be a little different. Pop Blender jumping in here saying, I need 3-star to call me 10 minutes before pre-order so I don't forget, because I will. Why don't you just have him order them for you? And then you can give him the money. Wouldn't that be easier? I mean, last time I checked, you guys are cousins, and you see him all the time. So, all right, Toxo Viper is coming. They said kind of ignore the picture because something will be different, that he's gross, if I remember correctly. I think that Toxo Viper, it only makes sense that he's going to fit in with the mole rats, right? He should fit in with the mole rats. They'll probably do a stage where, he is changing just like the mole rats, but you can also put him with the helmet on, because why else? I mean, what else is Toxo Viper going to do, right? They're trying to harness this energon, which obviously if they're exposed to it. So it only makes sense that you would have Toxo Vipers down there with the mole rats trying to clean up some of this this stuff. So I'll be interested to see this. They've done a wonderful job of creating new characters or new looks of characters. So I know people are excited for this. I'm interested to see, what it's going to be like. Mistress Armada. Now, this is another one that I had mentioned was coming, that I was told about at the same time. Again, all the stuff that I told you guys about was stuff that came after War Chest had already sent it out there, and Destro had talked about it. I was told not to say anything, but once it comes out, then you can kind of say, "Yep, this is what I've heard." I saw right away people losing their fucking minds. No Flash, but there's Mistress Armada. I don't know who the fuck this is. Well, Google it, all right? Rather than going on this fucking device to bitch about stuff, why don't you take some time and fucking Google it, and then you can find out who she is. And if you really don't care for the character, then don't buy it. But understand, to all the people that bitch and cry and moan, G.I. Joe encompassed more than just what you liked. Like everything in life. Sometimes I just gotta just not do it. But this is saying that they're leaning into other forms of media. They are not walking away. They are transitioning from not only doing a real American hero, but they're going to do other things, which is what they need to do, because I know not everyone cares. I want this line to continue on for years to come. I enjoy this line. And again, if there's one line that I can collect, it's going to be this. And Matthew says, with Mistress Armada, we need Alexander McCullen, Punk as Destro. Okay. I don't know what that means. Yes, they need Destro's son. There's no doubt. Like, this is, they are leaning into the Image run, IDW, I believe. Good. I want to see more characters from this. I want to see characters that just because I didn't read it doesn't mean that I don't want to see these. We're seeing enough cartoon characters. I want to see more from the comics where they're storyline based. There's actual a history, a story building of them. That's what I want to see. And 3-star says, "Yeah, I'm glad they're making Armada. I love the character." Yes, and again, when they start to get to the point where they're leaning heavier into the Energon universe, I'll be happy, because these are new characters or redesigns of older characters we've already had. J Solo Art says Larry Neck is already in the line. All right. Psych Out. Now, quickly, people went to Night Force Psych Out. Now, they were very adamant about, like, don't pay attention to the card. It was just something that we used for the name. Yada, yada, yada. A lot of people have said the Night Force Psych Out. I believe that this character, whether it's Night Force or not, they're going to do the same thing they did with Raptor and with Crystal Ball. They're going to take a really, really shitty character, a shitty figure, and yes, Psych Out is one of the worst. And before people say he's not the worst, I didn't say he was the worst. I said he's one of the worst. All right, people seem to jump down my throat on Circle of Jerks special missions when I said one of the worst. I didn't say he was the worst. He's one of the fucking worst characters ever made. They found a way to make, first off, they made Raptor absolutely awesome. Crystal Ball is still, he's better. I still don't think he's great. But it's one of those things where I think that it's going to be classified up. Now, Kimberlyn says it's Night Force. I have seen it. But is he classified up? That's my biggest thing. Is he classified up? That's what I think people, they don't want to see, him with radar dishes on his fucking wrists. It's so stupid. I hate this fucking. I hate this character. I really do. Crystal Ball is good. Like, I don't have a problem with Crystal Ball. He's better than what he was in A Real American Hero. There's no doubt about it. But yes. Raptor is awesome. Crystal Ball is better. Yeah, and well, Kimberlin is saying that he's seen it. He said it's classified up, and I think that's what they were really trying to say. I'm always gonna say what I'm always gonna say what I think. Sometimes I get on a tangent. That is why it is called Monday Night Toy Ramblings. All right. We got to see these. I knew this was coming. So, she bangs, and we have Ninja Force Scarlet. Now, I did think it was funny. Tony made a joke about how she doesn't have the really big hips anymore. They toned it down. These ninjas, for some odd reason, they definitely seem to put some tooling into weapons, right? But there's a lot of new tooling in that Scarlet. A lot of new weapons, different masks. I'm sure we will get like blue ninjas with this stuff. Or red ninjas or green ninjas, something like that with these masks or whatever. They got to do something with them, right? Now, I knew this one was coming. I believe that this is a Target exclusive, as that is how the the Ninja Force, I think, are rolling out. There is another 2-pack that is coming. One is from my understanding, a Ninja Force character that we already know and just try and figure out, and it shouldn't take that long. And one is a Ninja Force character, if I'm correct, that there has never been a version of Ninja Force. So I will be interested to see how that goes. I'll also be interested to see, and I hope they do this, and I think most people agree, that they do a Ninja Force Storm Shadow. And then I can retire, but is their Arctic Storm Shadow. Because Arctic Storm Shadow is Ninja Force Storm Shadow, right? If you notice on that Ninja Force, that Arctic Storm Shadow, there's no Cobra symbol on it. He doesn't have a Cobra symbol on him because he was a G.I. Joe. That was an Amazon exclusive. I know people go, why is this one going up in price? You know what supply and demand is? That's why. So there weren't that many, and he's also not a very good figure. He looks pretty good, but his articulation is not that bad, or not that good. So, yes, Shebangs is a Joe, I believe. So, yeah, he's a Joe because it's all you can see the blue in the back. So anyway, yeah, I had heard about this one. I had actually on a forum. I was talking about something, and I said, someone had said like what we need, and I said yes, no, and someone messaged said you got one wrong, and then he messaged me and said you got Scarlet wrong, and then he had told me that yes, there was a Ninja Force Scarlet, which I hadn't heard. So, like I said, I'm okay with admitting when I was wrong. But anyway, and then they gave us the teaser, and that was this crown. And here's a better look at it. Now, a lot of people, there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of, hey, this is, a lot of people think that is the mind control device for Cobra, my understanding is that it is with Hooded Cobra Commander. Now, people can argue with me. The Hooded Cobra Commander is not coming. People are going to tell me, you did a whole video saying they can never do hooded. I never said that. I said they are not allowed to. It was handed down from the top that they cannot do Hooded Cobra Commander, but they own the rights. They can change that whenever they want. It has been confirmed to me by many, many sources that yes, Hooded Cobra Commander is coming. I have no idea if it has a throne. I was told that it's a price point of like $70, I think it was. Something like that. So it is a high price, which means it has to be coming with something else. But they got new bosses that must have said, the Bonaventure, you're a fucking moron. and yeah, we're not listening to you. So go ahead and make it. This has nothing to do with the people that will tell you, dude, I told you that they were gonna wait it out and till they could use this. No, 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 they were not allowed to use it. I specifically sat there and talked to Corey Cantaloupe at Joe Fest 24, and he fucking explained it. He said we looked and we could not find anything that had to do with the KKK being looking like this. And they said, just stop looking. You're not allowed to do it. End of story. Now, Mike Gold, I do not know, but this is what I want. I have a throne. I have a 3D printed throne. A matter of fact, if you have a 3D printer or you know anyone that 3D prints, the Cobra 3D printed throne is one of the easiest things to print, right? Anyone can print one up for you if they have a 3D printer. I want a podium. And again, Hooded Cobra Commander is more like a ceremonial. You would see him talking. I think that would be awesome. And again, they're not dumb. Again, it's supposed to have something. My understanding, it was either like 60 or 70. I talked to somebody and we had a difference in pricing, but it was only like $3 difference. So that's definitely one of those. Hey, you know what? But there's a lot of stuff to come. Again, so my understanding is, that crown is supposed to go with Hooded Cobra Commander. And I was told that it is a crown. So now, again, you could say that Mind Control Device was considered a crown. I don't know if they're going that heavy into the cartoon. And it may not have anything to do with Hooded Cobra Commander. But we'll just say with what I was told, the name that I was told that the Hooded Cobra Commander would go by, it makes sense. Now I'll leave it at that. But anyway, that's it, man. That was over 3 hours. I knew it was going to be long. I didn't think it'd be this long. But anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. If you haven't run and grabbed your boxes yet, your crates, Punk with Toy Crates, these are game changers. They are done by Random Diorama. And for anyone going, wait a minute, I haven't even seen these, here is a link to it. So you can head on over, take a look at the stuff that he does. These are actual wood that is engraved. If you're following us on Instagram, myself, Action Figs, Mamu Nestor, those are my moderators. You have seen these all over. G.I. Jetman recently got his, so he's going to be posting pictures. Everyone that has ordered them, thank you. Anyone that's going to order them, thank you very much. Please post pictures with these. If you get them, tag me in it. I will share it. And hopefully help you guys grow your following. But I want to see, I want to, this is my ego. I'll readily admit, this is my ego wanting to see my logo done in photography in the back of all you, I guess not YouTubers, Instagrammers, photographers, whatever, right? But anyway, I'm going to get going. Thank you very much. Please tune in tomorrow, 6:30-ish on Baldylocks reviews for Circle of Jerks. And then this Thursday, I will be having Airborne Customs on Thursday with a friend. But until then, I will see you. Have a wonderful night.